2, 1.
Oh, fuck.
Wait, we're doing it? Okay. 3, 2,
1. Okay.
Fuck it. I'll get it.
You can't
Welcome
make
to Respawn. Welcome to Respawn Aim Fire, episode 74. We are starting this one out great. This is the Irreverent Kick-Ass Gaming Podcast, formerly known as Split Screen Gaming Podcast. Yo soy Chad Michaelinis. And Holden DePardo's over there. Say hi, Holden.
Hi, my name is Holden DePardo.
And joining us this week is our third lifelong friend. That's a bit we used to do like a year ago. Do you remember that? We used to always make up a third person that was supposed to be here, and then they would never actually be here. We have one!
I'm finally here.
Well, to that one time we had John Cena on, but he had tape on his mouth. Remember, he couldn't talk.
He was duct taped to the chair.
Yeah, he was with us, though. He was there.
Daniel,
Woo!
welcome.
Je suis Daniel.
Ooh,
went
la
with the-
franche,
that's right.
fromage, con leche.
Omelette du fromage.
I just said with milk in Spanish in a French accent, so that's...
I want you guys to know that the acronym for your podcast is RAF, which is also the Royal Air Force. Just keep that in mind.
That was on purpose.
We started from Royal Air Force and worked backwards.
That's right.
Daniel, tell us a little bit about yourself, why you're relevant, what your favorite game is, who is the king of Prussia, does Prussia still exist, where was that geographically? I mostly am just curious about Prussia.
I can actually answer that, but...
Okay.
Yo, what up? Okay, I just had y'all on my podcast, so now you're having me on your podcast.
What's your podcast?
My
Plug
podcast is Tequila. It's a podcast where nerds talk tech while taking a shot of tequila every 10 minutes, at least for the main episodes. There are filler episodes that are not drinking episodes because I can't drink every week that much because it's a lot. But yeah, just had y'all on Friday night. Put it up Sunday, though. Or no, sorry, Saturday evening. And that was a particularly fun episode. It came out really well.
It was a freaking blast.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
And
it was so much fun, we brought Daniel onto our show.
That's right.
Yeah.
So
no drinking this time, though. Sorry, fans who would want to hear us drink.
You don't know that.
I guess I should
But if
put
you
away
want to
the
hear us drink,
tequila.
you can go listen to Tequila, and then you can listen to us drink.
I do have beer, so...
Oh, tell us what you're drinking. This is how your episode... This is, if you guys haven't listened to Tequila, this is how his show starts. I'm drinking water from a Hufflepuff cup.
Oh, gross. The
And,
worst
I'm
house.
drinking water
I know,
as well.
Gryffindor's dirty because I drank it this morning.
Oh, okay. There you go. I mean, Gryffindor's also just a dirty, dirty boy.
Oh, fuck you.
You guys cut out there, so I just got back into Gryffindor's a dirty, dirty boy. Boys, where I cut right back into it. So that's great.
Accurate statement. I have grapefruit juice and beer, which is an interesting combo, as well as my dinner.
In the same cup?
Yes. I mean, that would just be a rattler.
Do you have like a separator in the cup? That'd be pretty cool. Do you guys remember those cups that had like two different sections? Fuck it, this is a gaming podcast.
No, keep going. Every time I'm on a show, I derail the fuck out of it.
There were two segments, so like you could drink two. It's like
I've seen those. Yes,
it's like a suicide cup, but instead of mixing it all together, you have it like in separate compartments.
it's double fisting in a cup.
Right, it's like fisting in a cup.
I think they call those fleshlights. No,
Yeah, something like that.
not quite.
You put them on the end of a bike, and then somebody bikes, and then it just punches you right in the asshole. There are children that listen to this, Holden. Shut up.
You guys are breaking up like crazy. I can't even really hear half the stuff you're saying right now. I'm going to switch to audio.
Oh,
Sorry,
We'll
guys.
miss you. Bye.
I can still hear you, hopefully.
Great. Wonderful. That's a beautiful picture of you. How old were you in that picture?
That was when I was at Six Flags in like 2014 or something like that. So it was like 4 years ago.
Oh, that's adorable.
that is a cute photo of you.
Whoa.
Oh, thanks, guys.
Whoa.
That's
Damn,
right. I'm making a
coming
move
up
on your
Holden.
man.
Oh, you guys, guess what the fuck happened this week?
What the fuck
That's
happened
right.
this
We're
week?
starting with the Nindies Showcase Summer. This is.
Do you guys mind
hold
going
on.
to audio as well, actually? Because I can
fucking-
barely hear you guys now.
Right, we'll go to audio only. You guys, welcome to backstage.
Chad's
Whoa,
like, you're
nope.
fucking up my transitions.
How do I do this?
You
What
click
is
the-
Google Hangouts? There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
There
okay.
we go. You guys,
It
you know how the
sounded,
sausage
it
is
sounded
made?
like mechanical, like when you're listening through like a hearing aid or something. Have you ever listened to the hearing aid before?
Yes.
No,
It sounds
I'm,
kinda
I'm a
mechanical.
young adult male.
No, I had this old person was like, "Do you want to listen to my hearing aids?" I'm like, actually, I really would like to hear what that's like, and I tried them.
Okay.
It wasn't voluntary in
Kinda
my
gross,
case. I just
but-
grabbed my grandpa's.
Wow, just
But it's
grab
kind
my
of tinny
grandpa's.
sounding. It's actually not pleasant. Anyway, that's what you guys.
Wait, are
sounded
you
like.
plugged into
Let's-
Ethernet?
No,
Okay.
but we found it doesn't make a difference because my internet
doesn't.
connection here sucks.
Okay. Fair enough.
Anyway, let's actually get started with this.
Yeah,
Since you were doing an
technically a
awesome
Nindies, is it?
transition,
It's
and then
a-
I cut you off.
I know you did, and you still cut me off because you're inconsiderate. Nintendo Indie Showcase, I believe this was called. Was it not Nindies?
This one, so last week's was the indie event. This one is
got
Nindies
some
Showcase,
indigestion.
Summer 2018.
Wait, so this one is called Nindies.
This one is called Nindies.
Oh,
Last
get it
week's was not
together,
called Nindies.
Nendo.
That is, this is weird. Okay, continue.
They started it off just by saying that it is a part 2 to last week's event.
But the last week,
So it's
didn't y'all say the last week's one was like on the fucking like UK channel or some shit? Like
Yeah.
some random
yeah, it was on
bullshit.
the UK channel.
Dropped without notice.
Cool.
Yep.
Okay,
This
this
one was
sounds very
arguably the
Nintendo.
better one.
Yeah, this one. Yeah, I agree. This one was better, but it also there was I think at least 5 days notice for this one.
Okay.
I don't know why they did that. Why would they just spontaneously release one and then give 5 days notice to one that's coming out a week later?
I don't know.
Because like
I don't
any
know.
company, different segments of the company don't talk to each other.
That's very true. This is Nintendo of America versus Nintendo of EU. So let's run through some of the announcements that they made.
I don't want to.
You don't
I'm
want
just kidding. Go.
So the first game they showed off was called Hyper Light Drifter Special Edition. It comes out September 6th. It looks like Kimiko. I thought it was
Spider-Man.
Kimiko at first, which is a Switch.
Have you never heard of
indie
Hyper
game.
Light Drifter?
No, I haven't.
me
Oh, it's been
neither.
out for a long time on a lot of systems.
Yeah, I got that vibe. They talked about it as if it had already been out before. Also, it's called Special Edition. That's usually not the first game.
How special
It's,
is
actually,
it?
it's one of those like on my backlog. A lot of people. It's gotten excellent reviews from a lot of places.
Has
but
it?
I've just never played it.
I've never heard of it before. I have heard of the next game, though. That's called Towerfall. We actually played another developer's game, Celeste, earlier this year.
That's right,
Ooh.
Celeste. It rhymes with molest, and you're allowed to say
Oh,
that 'cause
God.
it's the name of the mountain, not the woman.
Oh, there you go.
Celeste was fantastic. This game is called Towerfall. And ever since Celeste came out, people have been asking for this to be available on Switch. But it is now coming September 27th. It's a competitive kind of side-scrolling action game with your friends, basically, is the idea behind it. This time you're going to be able to play as Madeline and Badeline from Celeste, which is pretty cool.
That's awesome. Fun fact.
And then
Badelins.
Towerfall launched as an Ouya exclusive.
Did it really?
It really
That's
did.
amazing. That's hysterical. And then all the expansions are included with that game as well. Next game, Treasure Stack, coming in winter 2018. Looks kind of strange.
And it's like Tetris
Zarvat?
with treasure boxes.
Yeah, with treasure boxes, yeah. Zarvat is coming October 2018. This was strange. It was like you're playing as a cube. It reminded me of like Thomas Was Alone, but in
Don't you
3D.
even compare
But
this
it doesn't
to
look
Thomas
like it's
Was
going to be that
Alone.
good.
Thomas Was Alone was magical.
I know, but I just added on. I don't think it's going to be that good. It doesn't look that good.
You literally only wrote that because Thomas Was Alone is about squares and this is about cubes. So it's literally Thomas Was Alone in 3D.
It's exactly what it looks like. That's why I wrote the note. It's exactly what it looks like.
Oh, it is cubes. You're right. It does star cubes.
The next game I actually am interested in.
Really?
See at least how it is. Yeah,
Oh,
it looks
no,
like it
they
could be
went
appealing.
hardcore into cats, and I fucking hate cats.
So it's called Miniko's Night Market. It looks very Animal Crossing or Stardew Valley in the sense that you are, in this case, you're maintaining a shop and a night market in town, and you are venturing around to the other people in your town or kind of the areas around it to, I guess, gather resources. That wasn't super clear in the trailer, but gathering resources for your market is what it looked like.
Daniel, what are your thoughts on Animal Crossing style games?
Not my thing, but a lot of my friends love them, and so I can appreciate that people like them.
God, you're so stupid and considerate.
That's what I'm here
I
for.
just think that they're all the most boring parts of the video games that you don't like playing, like all the fetch quests and shit.
It really is. But my friend Kyle, who she's dope. She studies. She's a psychology PhD candidate, and her studies are like stress studies in Smash tournaments. She's cool as fuck. She loves Animal Crossing because she says it's like part of her like daily routine. Like she carries around her 3DS just to do the like little daily thingies in the game. She also liked that Magikarp jump game on mobile. So
Oh man,
yeah,
I forgot about that. I mean, I get it. I open up Pokemon Go. I send people gifts.
right.
I get my Stardust.
I'm so over gifts, but yeah. Anyway.
You got to for Celebi, man.
Oh, you man, I'm falling behind. Okay.
Yeah, you can't make fun of Animal Crossing. You guys are playing Pokemon Go.
Okay, get out of here.
That.
Pokemon's a lot more popular.
True.
Next up,
Animal Crossing
Samurai
is
Gun 2.
Pokemon
Moving
popular.
on to something that's not derogatory
Because I had nothing
against
else
me.
to say about that game at all. Thanks, Chad.
Wait, did you really have more to say?
No, we can go on. It's fine.
Great. Samurai Gun 2.
There you go.
Early 2019. I don't remember anything about this game, which might say
I don't either.
all you need to know about it. Bullet Age, November 2018. Again, yep.
Yep. World Next Door, early 2019.
Great. Whatever.
Other game that looked interesting was Levelhead. Did you guys remember this one?
No.
Levelhead. Describe it.
It's kind of like a Little Big Planet in the sense that you are making your levels.
Oh,
Ooh.
yeah. I looked at this and said, not interested in content creation.
Really?
There was one part. I don't
I'm just,
play
I
them
can't
too
get
much,
into
but
it.
I kind of like how Daniel feels about Animal Crossing games. I appreciate them. I get it, but they're not really for me.
Yeah. I like to play really good shit made by other people, but I just can't spend the time making it myself, and most of what people make is also trash.
I mean,
so
what
the
about like a
discovery
Mario
of
Maker
something
kind of
else-
thing where you can like download maps and shit?
Yeah, but like 95% of the maps that people make are shit.
That's true.
So then you got to sift through all that. And Mario Maker does not have good discovery.
What do you mean? Yes, discover like finding maps.
Yeah,
and
like
things
a
that.
Discover in Spotify or whatever.
I thought you meant like discovery in the levels themselves. I'm like,
No,
well,
it's a
that's
channel.
Yeah, that's not gonna
People
happen.
do it like they do on that channel.
Next game was King of the Hat.
All
it was
right.
a hat-based
What the fuck?
party game.
Hat-based party game.
I am
Okay.
kind of into this a lot. It's literally a bunch of stupid things wearing hats, and you have to try to crush the other person's hat.
That's actually.
And we mean stupid things. Like one of them is a washing machine, and its hat is a laundry basket. on top of
Oh
it.
my god! This sounds like a really good party game.
Yeah, and you're just jumping around
Yeah.
the screen throwing your hat at people, but also if they crush your hat, you die.
My
So-
favorite is the Birthday Boy, where every day is his birthday.
Wait, so is this going to be
so
like
stupid.
like 4-person local or what?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. 4, maybe 6, maybe it's just 4.
I thought I saw 4, but maybe we're wrong.
What is this called? The King in the Hat?
King
King
of the
of
Hat.
the Hat.
King
Like
of
King
the
of the
Hat.
Hill, but King of the Hat.
Oh, that is cute. This is cute. I want this. Okay, I'm all about this. Anyway,
Speaking of cute, Untitled Goose Game. Great name.
Yeah,
Great
This
name.
looks amazing. It's my favorite thing announced at the whole event.
This seems kind of
wait,
a long...
that's literally the name of the thing.
That's it.
Yeah, it's literally called Untitled Goose Game.
And you're just a goose walking around town, like, eating people's sandwiches and, like...
Also, side note, I don't know where the fuck you guys are. Like, I'm literally googling around for this list of shit. Can't find it.
It's in the note. Look in the shared note that Holden sent.
Oh, okay. I was like trying to find it myself
you're
on
just
my
like,
own.
Where is this? Every single game you're Googling the title. Yeah, Holden
Basically.
does extensive, like, crazy extensive notes each week.
Word. Oh yeah, there they are. Okay, so
So-
this goose game, go.
Yeah, so the Goose Game, Chad nailed it. I mean, the game really just seems to be bothering people in the town by eating their sandwiches or taking things from them or just chasing them around.
Oh, I kinda like this art style.
And squawking at them.
Yeah.
The art style is really good. The animations is what makes it funny to me, though. The animations are really fluid and
In general,
They're
or
just
like of the
hysterical to
people, or
watch.
of the goose, or
in general, yeah, in general, they all look really good.
oh my god, it looks
I
like
wonder
the
if it's going
Affleck
to be
duck.
kind of like along the lines of I Am Bread or Goat Simulator,
Yeah, yeah.
where, like, it's funny at first, but then, like, it quickly loses its charm. I don't know.
If this were $10, I would get it in a heartbeat.
Prove it. Put your money where your mouth is.
I can't pre-purchase it yet.
Oh my
Early
God.
2019. I
Also,
will
money's
get it.
digital now. What is money?
What is money? That's a good question. What is money? Welcome to the What is Money podcast.
Yeah, this
Hold
is a
on,
currency
money,
podcast. We
dinero.
don't have many listeners.
This Untitled Goose Game looks amazing.
Yeah, it's really surprising that it looks so as good as it
Oh
does.
my god.
It's one of those things you do have to see it in motion because in motion
Yes.
the motion is how it sold me.
Well, that and the animation style, or like the illustration
Well,
style.
that's what I mean. Like how fluid everything looks when it's moving. It just looks really nice in movement.
Wow.
He did a montage of just a bunch of different games after that.
These are all,
With
I
some
think,
really
like, the
big
big
games in there,
hitters,
too.
or a lot of the big hitters.
Desert Child is the first one, December 2018. Wasteland 2 is coming to Switch, September 13th. Bastion, September 13th. Awesome
Nice.
game. Such a good game. Very excited about that one. The Messenger, August 30th. Undertale,
Messenger is
Chad.
getting some great previews.
Yes. The Messenger,
I guess
Undertale for you, Chad.
Reviews. Undertale. If you haven't played Undertale, that game is fucking hysterical.
I have not.
I'm gonna play that on Switch.
I probably
Made by
will on
one
Switch.
dude, and it's fucking hysterical and brilliant.
Jackbox Party Pack 5 coming October 2018.
Nice.
Transistor, also from the same guys who made Bastion, November 2018.
Woo!
Dragon Marked for Death, December 13th. Light Fingers, September 20th. I almost called it Little Fingers from Game of Thrones, but no.
That's right.
Finger. And then Super Brothers, Sword and Sorcery EP, October 2018. That is one of the best mobile games you could buy.
Oh, Sword and Sorcery. Yeah, I fucking love that game. That game is amazing.
Yeah.
It was like one of the OG iPad, iPhone games.
Yeah, hell yeah. That one's so good. So that's coming to Switch. Dope.
Yeah, it's cool, but I kind of think that game works so well on mobile. Why would you get it on Switch?
Yeah, I kind of agree with you.
Yeah.
I don't know, like Switch
I
seems
mean,
like just a bigger
it is a
mobile.
tablet, though, so.
Like, why would you do it? Yeah, I mean, it is kind of tablet size, but at the same time, you have like the actual input for a real game as opposed to
Yeah,
like,
but
screen
Never
input.
use it.
But that game doesn't use any.
Yeah, it's all like
physical
touch
input.
screen
It's all-
base.
Yeah, it's all touchscreen and like rotating your device around and all that.
Huh.
So that was kind of like a little montage. They just showed of all the games from Desert Child all the way to Super Brothers. The next thing I thought was a really important thing they announced. It's small, but it's pretty important. Basically, there's the news channel or the news section of your Switch. On the bottom, you have like your store, you have your settings, your gallery, all that kind of stuff. One of them is a news section, and they're gonna have an indie section, which is just dedicated to highlighting upcoming indie games. So I think it's good that they're kind of using
that's
their
dope.
Yeah,
they're
I think
using their
that's great.
platform to kind of highlight smaller experiences.
Yeah.
I, think it's a
I
good
also
idea.
didn't know that news section was there until today.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I never opened it.
It constantly has like the little notification bubble
Yeah.
on it, like constantly.
Yeah,
Not
but
even
I
that,
mean-
but on your lock screen, it has like, here's the news updates.
Right.
Yeah, but I always just turn on my Switch and it's just already where Octopath last was. And I never look at the menu screen, so.
You don't use it for anything else.
Nope.
They had one last surprise announcement. Did you guys play FTL at all?
It's faster than light, right?
Yeah.
Nope.
No, I did not.
I didn't either, but I know it's supposed to be very good. I've heard good things about it. It has a good reputation. But they have a surprise launch for a game today called Into the Breach.
Oh, that's
And
right.
it's
This
a-
one's available today.
Yes, this looks good, I think. It's a strategy game very much along the lines of Advance Wars, which I've been playing recently, Fire Emblem, or if you don't know those games, and if you've been paying attention to these indie events in the past, there's a game called War Groove, which is kind of that like top-down strategy. Is it strategy RPG, or is it just strategy? I guess it's just a strategy game.
Yeah.
Fire Emblem strategy RPG, but this is just a strategy game, it looks like. All the levels are very small, it looks like, but there's very cool environmental factors you can use to your advantage, and that's what looked appealing to me. So it takes place, it looked like an alien planet or something like that. There's definitely a science fiction kind of theme to this. But you might come across an area where there's a bunch of enemies that are standing in front of a dam. And rather than shoot the enemies, shoot the dam, and the water will wipe all the enemies in its path out.
Unleash the river.
So it's kind of like you can look at your environment and kind of figure out
Kraken.
how to use your environment to your advantage. I haven't seen that done in like an Advance Wars or Animal Crossing game, or not Animal Crossing, Fire Emblem game to that degree before. So that's kind of cool.
Wait, when you say Advance Wars, are you talking about the Game Boy Advance game?
Yep.
Man, is that the only one that ever came out, or is there more?
There was 4 of them.
Oh,
three
I'm
or four.
I'm totally in the know. Okay.
All on Game Boy Advance?
No, it's no. One, 2 of them were on DS, 2 of them were on Game Boy Advance.
Oh, okay.
Ah.
But no, it's an obscure series. I wouldn't expect most people to know it.
I mean, I remember the Game Boy Advance ones, but yeah, this looks dope. This looks interesting.
It does, yeah.
I'm like on and off with these types of games. Like the Square strategy games.
Yeah.
This does look interesting.
Yeah. It's tough for me to get into them, but although I enjoyed the hell out of Mario Rabbids on Switch.
Really?
That was a really good game.
Really?
Yeah, it was surprisingly good.
There's something about the Rabbids thing that turned me off real hard.
Oh, man. I am one of the very few people who are like hardcore Rabbid fans.
Fair enough.
I think that
I hate the Rabbids,
I
too,
explained this
so-
on your podcast. I love screaming. Screaming, I think, is hilarious. And that's all they do is scream.
Cool, so that was everything they had for the Nintendo event. But I believe that Daniel actually had something he wanted to talk about in terms of Nintendo Switch Online.
I did.
And since he is our guest, would you like to talk about that, Daniel?
Sure. So briefly, there's not just like I really want to just discuss and rant about the nature of Nintendo through the vehicle of Switch Online. They really haven't given us many details, man. In like typical Nintendo fashion, it's like $20 a year or like X amount per month. I think it's significantly cheaper for the year, and then like there's like a family option for like 8 or more people. I don't know if it's going to be like Apple, where it's like hard as shit to like have a family plan.
Like everything you buy has to go through one person's credit card.
Right, exactly. I doubt it'll probably be a lot easier. But yeah, so there's that. We have the games that it'll support, like the Switch titles, which are Splatoon, Mario Kart, that tennis game, I forget what it's called. Mario
Tennis Aces?
Yes, the Aces.
Diablo 3 coming out.
Is Diablo going to be online?
Yep.
Cool. So, then Smash, of course. I'm trying to think of what else. Yeah, that's all I can think of off the top of my head. But then it comes with all these NES titles, and that's all we really know, is that we get some NES titles, and then it's basically replacing like what I already use for Mario Kart Online as an experience. And we don't really know like what the experience is going to be like. We know that the voice chat is going to go through the phone, which is really weird. Yeah. And like making parties is going to go through the phone, which is also kind of weird. And I think that's all we know.
I think it's a good point, is that we know kind of like a bullet point of like what it looks like, but you're right, we don't really know what the experience is like. And I hadn't really thought about that in terms of I can go to Mario Kart right now and I can just start playing online. Is that the interface? I'm assuming you're asking, is that the interface we're going to be seeing when we play online with Mario Kart in September when this comes out? That's a good question, because I'd imagine that they would have to change it, because there are certain things that like Mario Kart Online doesn't do that are so standard online features that I'd imagine Switch Online would do it.
Sure.
Such as when you're playing with your friends in Mario Kart Online, you can only play against the computer. You can't play against your friends and other people online. It's your friends versus the computer. Right. And that's kind of lame to me.
Extremely.
I'd much rather play with my friends and people online.
Right.
So that's the kind of stuff I'd hope to see when Switch Online
I think that's
comes
remedied.
out,
What I saw, talking to like that specifically, what I saw was, I think it was like a mini demo kind of thing, where it was like Splatoon, and then they're trying to party up with their friends, and then once they partied up with their friends, they battle other people, if I'm remembering correctly. And,
that's how it works in Splatoon.
And so I'm hoping that is basically just applied everywhere else through this shit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. My ultimate point is just to like yell at Nintendo and be like, what the fuck? Can we get something that's comprehensive in terms of like what we're getting? And we'll see.
I think absolutely. What really is frustrating is that it is coming out in 3 to 4 weeks.
And we don't know shit.
They said it's the last. They said it's the last half of September. I think they've said it's the last half of September.
That's 3 to 4 weeks.
And they've said they're going to talk more about it in September.
Yeah.
Nintendo usually has a big September Direct.
Well, as a product that they initially planned to launch literally a year ago, you would think they would have more information to share by this point.
Mm-hmm. It's marginally more than what we knew last year, basically.
Yeah.
Which is bizarre.
But in fact,
it's less. Well, it's a little bit like when they announced it, they had even said, you get one NES game a month, and that game rotates out. And now it's like a collection of games. So like I guess it's a little more information, but
it's
so
we've really known the majority of this from the beginning. We've known that it's going to be $20 a year for a long time now. We've known that it's going to go through an app for a long time now. Actually, literally since July of last year when Splatoon came out, because that's when the app came out to first use in beta. We've also known that, like you said, it's going to have the games included, and I think the only things that were new were the family plan and changing to like the Netflix kind of style of having a collection of games.
Is it for real, though, that like if I want... this is the way we had to do it with Overcooked 2, but I hope this is not the real thing. If I want to talk to someone and also hear game audio, I have to have 2 sets of headphones, one in each ear.
Oh,
is that a thing?
Yeah.
It still has to go through the app, yeah. I thought that was changing, but I guess it's not.
Yep.
Why?
It's always they always make it so hard. I mean, I remember trying to do like back in, I'm just show off Pokemon nerddom. Back in Gen 4 on the DS, you could buy this for the DS Lite, and I believe for the DS because it still had that same like headphone jack that had a little piece coming out of it. You can buy like a little headset and talk to people in the middle of Pokemon battles on Wi-Fi. I remember going from like playing Halo 3 to that and being like, man, this is a weird experience. Like, Nintendo's online experiences are always weird as fuck and behind, whatever Microsoft and Sony are doing. And that's I have zero confidence in this product. I hope for the best and expect the worst at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in that boat of I'm gonna get it because I'm gonna want to play Mario Kart with my friends and things like that.
I'm for
and that's
sure
kind of the problem
it.
is everyone's gonna get it. It's not super expensive. It's also a third the price of their competitors' offerings.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's gonna be some shortcomings, but again, it's a third of the price. So I kind of expect there's to be some shortcomings. What upsets me is that kind of what you said is that they just don't understand online.
Right.
And Nintendo's always been a company that, yeah, maybe they've been late to some stuff, but they always do it their own way. And I'm not getting that vibe with this. I kind of feel like they're doing this because they have to, not because they have this really cool online gaming idea that's so unique to Nintendo that it could only be theirs. It's not that.
It feels
that's
like,
what kind of bugs me.
It feels like a minimal carbon copy.
Yeah, it feels like we know we have to do this. We don't want to charge people too much because we know we're not going to offer, screen sharing features and things like that.
We're not going to try hard. So.
We're not. Yeah, no, seriously. I think it's because they don't. I don't think they believe in this. They just do it because they need to stay relevant.
Now that said, if this fixes all the bullshit that you get with online play of like games being really laggy sometimes and dropping out and shit, if this fixes that. And otherwise, like, that's all it does is fix that, then, like, fine. And give me some NES titles, then, like, dope. That I'll take it. And, like, allow me to party up from my phone, which is weird, but whatever. I'll take it, Like, I would love if it fixed that. Because playing online, like, oh, man, I don't know why I had a Wii U, but I did. And, like, playing online with that was really shit. It was a bad experience.
Yeah. Yep.
It is with the Switch, too, though. Anyway, yeah, go on.
I haven't had too many experiences with drops and things like that. A lot of people have said that. I haven't had too many experiences myself with it.
I've seen it specifically in the context of Splatoon, which I don't play, and also the Aces game, Mario Aces. So
when I did the beta, I had a lot of issues with Mario Aces, but in the few hours I've played the purchase version, the full version, I haven't experienced too much of that. Yeah, I do think at $20 though they can't have that kind of stuff because at that point you're actually charging money. Like if it did happen, I've had a few drops before, but I've had a drop on PS4 as well. It didn't bother me because I wasn't paying for it, so I didn't really expect too much.
Right.
But now they're actually having a service. They have to back it up with something substantial. The other part that bugs me about this is that going to the whole like Netflix library of content. That's really cool. I want to see what the future of that is. Is it going to expand to SNES and that kind of stuff? Everyone's been asking about Virtual Console, and I feel like that's been what we've been waiting for with this whole online service is, how is the Virtual Console going to tie into this?
So if I'm not mistaken, I think I saw that they are just expecting developers, I guess including themselves, to put everything on the eShop.
Right, yeah, they're retiring the Virtual Console brand.
No, I know. So that's what I was getting to is that I think a lot of us were anticipating we'd hear something about that, and that's why we haven't heard Virtual Console at all. It's because it's tied to that service, and they keep delaying and delaying. That's why they can't talk about it. And then they finally talk about the online service, and then they say exactly what you just said about Virtual Console.
Yeah,
and that's the part that upsets me is that I was really expecting something to be really cool with the classic games, and I'm not a big NES era fan.
I mean,
because
nobody
it's not the
fucking
games I grew
cares
up
about
with.
playing Balloon Fight online.
Exactly.
Right.
I want to see Metroid on there. I want to see like SNES games on there. I don't say Metroid, I mean like Super Metroid. I want to see games that have been on Virtual Console before, such as like all the Zelda games, all the
GameCube games.
Mario games. Yeah, I want GameCube games. I want,
and if that costs
better
$40 to $50 a year
point.
instead of $20, fucking do it.
Yeah.
I still think they're doing GameCube games. I think they're going to do some sort of classics program.
How? Like individual release?
Yeah.
Huh.
Because they made those games in China, the HD versions of the GameCube and Wii games in China, and sold them for $10 a piece on the NVIDIA Shield. They didn't do that just for China. They did that because they can probably take that and put it elsewhere.
Right.
And if it's running on an NVIDIA Shield, that's the same chip that's in a Switch.
Yep.
So they probably don't have to do anything besides reconfigure controller layouts. It's the same hardware for the most part.
Right.
So yeah, it's really strange.
Look, I just want my
still...
Metroid Prime before Metroid Prime 4 comes out. I want to get all the 3 first, play through them, and then start 4, and then boom.
Yep.
If I can purchase 1 through 3 on the eShop, that would be dope.
Well, why 3DS is still one of my favorite Nintendo consoles, because I have every single Zelda game on there that is 2D, and then I have Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask. So I feel like I have this great library of like just Zelda games, my favorite franchise, on my 3DS, and I can just go to my 3DS and just go back into all these old games. I have Pokemon Yellow, I got Pokemon Silver on there. If I wanted to get Crystal, I could get Crystal. I have Super Mario World. I can go back into the history of Nintendo, and I can't do that on Nintendo's main system.
Yep.
I want it.
Yep, and the Switch is like, I don't know, overshadowing the 3DS. You're not going to take the 3DS everywhere with you now.
Yeah, if you have both, you're not going to take the 3DS with you everywhere.
Right. But yeah, overall, weird. I guess we'll see, is basically the TLDR.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't said they're going to have a Direct next month, but they did say they would talk more about the online service next month. So hopefully we hear more about that.
Yep.
Wonderful. Great discussion. Thank you for bringing that to the table, Daniel.
Yes.
Very kind of you. Moving on to Playtime, where we talk about what the fuck we played this week. Turns out it's nothing at all. So Holden played nothing but Heavy Rain. I played Heavy Rain, more Octopath Traveler, but very little of it. But Daniel has something he'd like to talk about. And let's just say I am anxiously awaiting you to sell me on this game.
Okay, so I was aware that this was happening, but I normally don't pay attention. Just because I've never really paid attention to the finals of these games. But this last weekend was the finals of Pokken, the grand final of Pokken. I think it was in like Cleveland or Ohio or some shit. I forget where exactly, but it was in the U.S.
Sounds great.
The finalists were a Japanese guy and an American guy. I forget their screen names, but something like Thanks a Lot or some shit was the American guy. Dude's from Chicago, actually, this kid, which is amazing.
Nice.
And I saw it all over Twitter. I sent them the tweet specifically that I'm referencing now, but I saw it all over Twitter and other places. People were freaking out. This one tweet was like, this is like one of the best like fighting game finals of all times. You need to watch this. And so this morning... I finished watching it instead of just watching that little clip, and it was fucking wild. But before this morning, I started getting back into Pokken. But Pokken is actually a really good fighting game that everyone's sleeping on. And if you want to... like, if you're a huge Pokemon fan like me, and you're not playing Pokken, like, you're only sticking to the... the main series games, like the turn-based fighting style, you are missing out on this game because it's fucking amazing. Even watching the professional match, there were like moves that I didn't even and combos I didn't even know existed. It was like Gengar and Sceptile they were playing. Fucking crazy.
Watching that clip that you sent.
Oh.
I don't know whether it was the announcers or the game itself, but I was just like, oh my god, I'm so invested in this.
Yeah.
Kick his ass!
Yeah. Oh my god, it's actually a really good game. People sleeping on it as a fighting game, but it is very well done for a game that really is just like under the radar in general. Like that went under the radar. Nobody really fucks with that game. And yeah, just wanted to bring that up.
I feel like my biggest issue with fighting games is I never feel like I can get enough value from a fighting game for what I pay for it.
I feel you. Like I prefer having like a lot of story content in games, just generally speaking. Obviously Smash is more of a, like multiplayer online game. Sometimes there's story in them, but it's whatever.
The story is like, you beat up this person, and you walked back by a path that saw this other character, and you saw them, and then you beat them up. That's the story of Smash Bros.
So like, this game is kind of like that, where it's like, you're in a tournament. Oh my god, the Shadow Mewtwo. What is this? It's just really shit. But as a fighting game, I feel like it's pretty well balanced generally. They just added Blastoise in DLC, which is really cool. Anyway, good game. Check it out. At least, I don't know, if you know someone who has it, like, go play it at their place or something and try it out and see what you think, because I think it's fucking awesome.
Is the demo for Switch still available?
I just checked the eShop and it says yes.
Do it. Okay. There you go.
I was like, how much does this cost?
I didn't want to say demo it if it weren't there, But now you know.
Mm-hmm. I think I played the demo.
Yeah, we did play the demo. I didn't care for the demo too much, but that's also because I'm not good at fighting games.
This one's also really hard.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, there's a lot of very specific things that you do, with forward combos and back. It's not like Smash where if you just press forward, you can whack buttons and be fine, and then you figure out if I smash this way, it'll punch the shit out of him really hard, or my B side is how I do that.
Mm-hmm.
This is way less straightforward.
Well, it's been the guys who made Tekken, which is a very technical fighter, from my understanding.
Yeah. That's why they call it Tekken.
That's right.
Yep.
Get it?
Oh, yeah, I do get it now you pointed out.
Don't you humor me. Awesome. So, that has re-inspired me to maybe download the demo again and hope it goes on sale one day.
That's right.
Stay
it probably
tuned,
will. Cause
maybe to next week's episode.
I imagine the sales are real shit. So, yeah.
Of Pokken? Yeah.
But it's a Nintendo first-party title.
It's actually kind of a crazy niche if you think about it. Because I can just picture in my head some crazy hardcore fighting fan who thinks Pokemon's for babies.
Yeah.
So who's this this cross demographic of Pokemon fans who also love hardcore fighting games like Tekken?
I explain it whenever people are over and I pitch it to them. Because people are used to coming over and maybe playing Smash or Mario Kart. Mm-hmm. I pitch it to them as kind of being like Tekken, where it's a technical game. But then I also pitch it to them as being this is what Pokemon should have been from the beginning. It should have just been a fucking fighting game with the same story. That would have been dope. I don't know if I necessarily believe that, but it's a fun thing to say.
If every gym battle you go into, you play the regular overworld Pokemon catch a shit, and then you go into a gym battle and it's legit that style battling.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Oh fuck! I hope that's the 2019 game.
There was supposedly the 2019 game is overhauling the fighting system. That's a rumor, supposedly. But
yeah, I've heard that rumor too. Yeah, have an action RPG version of it, where it's a fighting game, but you can level up your character still and everything.
Yeah, it was supposed to be something similar to a fighting game, but then also Fire Emblem type. I don't know.
That'd be cool.
Oh, you're losing me.
Chad's like, Fire Emblem, no!
No, God,
it
no!
Can't be that.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing. We're going to move on to our quest log. Figure out what the fuck the internet's giving us this week. Holden, start us out with some fetch quests, talking about them Nintendo starter packs.
Yeah, let's start off with those starter packs. So, basically the idea here is that Nintendo is going to bundle... the starter packs are specifically bundling a game with the strategy guide for no cost. So you're basically going to have Super Mario Odyssey, Breath of the Wild, or Splatoon 2 still at $60 with the strategy guide for that game.
That's kind of cool.
What they're calling a starter pack. Yeah, it's kind of a cool idea.
Do people use
for a game like
the
Breath of the
guides
Wild
anymore?
No, I mean, you just Google how do you get this star in this level.
That's what I'm saying.
That's it.
But also, if it's kind of free with the game, and a lot of those guidebooks are actually pretty nice.
That's what it's more of a collector's item than anything.
Yeah. Right. When I think about being a kid though, and I when I played Donkey Kong Country 1, 2, and 3 or Super Mario World, I know every pixel of every single level in those games because as a kid I studied those strategy guides. So I know in the first Minecraft level of Donkey Kong Country, if you just jump off the edge in the very beginning, you land in a barrel, shoot you all the way to the end. All of this shit I know from those strategy guides.
Right. And now we have the internet.
And now we have the internet, but also you can't really search for that kind of stuff. You're secret in this level. No, I don't know.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's true.
It takes me back.
I like them. I mean, I see the more collector item type deal.
Kind of like an art book almost type thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Also, side note: have you guys seen that Smash Pro controller?
Yes.
It looks really sweet.
It does.
I'm not a fan.
Hold on. I need to pull it back up just to see what it looks like.
It's just the white grips with the Smash logo in the middle.
Chad,
it's actually
Chad,
I kind of like it, man.
Thank you, Daniel. Chad, shut your mouth.
You know what throws me off a little bit is just that it's off center.
Yeah, but also compared to that PlayStation 4 Pro 500 million edition controller that I have coming in the mail tomorrow,
you're getting ahead of yourself, Chad.
What a great transition, me. Are we done with that one? Oh no!
Just two more quick things. Okay. The Switch Pro, the Smash Pro controller and Smash Bros are together for $140, And also, you can get the controller separately for $75. The other bundle they're doing is a purple and silver Mario Kart 7 3DS bundle.
That one?
Actually, doesn't know I didn't say 3DS bundle, but yes, 3DS bundle. Or 2DS bundle, sorry.
That one seemed kind of cool. Didn't they have like a purple and green Joy-Con or some shit like that? Or was that different?
That's for Splatoon.
Oh, that was a Splatoon.
Pink, yeah, like
one.
the watermelon and pink. Yeah,
yeah, correct.
Yeah, but this purple here is the purple of the Game Boy Advance, the GameCube, and the Game Boy Color.
Oh, shit.
It looks so nice. I that's the color I've been dying to have.
So you're saying I shouldn't have done the blue on my Joy-Con on like my own. I should have just waited for this shit.
Oh, no. These are 2DSs.
Yeah.
Cool.
These are not Joy-Con.
So you should
2DSs are the things I definitely want. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, wait. It's the 2DS XL. Sorry, new 2DS XL.
There's a new 2DS? I didn't even know they did that.
Yeah, they did.
Only new 2DS XL, though.
Wow. Okay.
That's so stupid.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chad, you can't contain yourself.
Cool.
So just
I
go
can't.
For it.
So they
Let's
actually
go.
announced the 500 million edition that, for the record, is fucking
Of what
bullshit.
console?
Say
Wait,
the
there's
console.
Oh, yeah, PlayStation 4 Pro.
He's so excited
There you
right
go.
now. He can't contain himself.
So me and a few friends waited up at our own separate respective houses to pre-order this fucking console. And it was a shit show because, like, internet
There's only
wasn't
50,000
working.
of them.
There was 50,000 total. Like, companies were releasing them at weird times that they weren't saying, and then it would only work in the app, and then the app wouldn't load. Anyway, bullshit. But they also are releasing the controller that comes with it and the gold wireless headset that comes with it as well. They announced that those were going to be separate from the get-go in September, but they're actually available for purchase, and mine's arriving tomorrow. And I can't frickin' wait! So I got the DualShock 4. Got my little piece of Sony history.
I'm happy for you, Chad.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you.
Whatever. You guys remember last week, or maybe the week before, when we announced Gone Home is coming to Switch? Well, they just announced it and just delayed it. So, coming September 6th instead.
Yeah, it's supposed to come August 23rd. Now, so it should have been out already?
Yep.
Yeah, it should have been out already. Yeah,
Today's the 28th. Time is
I
freaking
forget
flying.
time, okay? Xbox All Access, which we talked about pretty in-depth last week, is officially coming. It's the subscription service for $35 a month. You get an Xbox One X console, Xbox Game Pass, as well as Xbox Gold for 2 years.
That's fucking wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the One S, the pricing they revealed was like $21.39 or something like that a month.
Yep. So it's a really good deal, actually. They have said that this is not something that they see as the future of Xbox in terms of doing this as a subscription model forever. But I think it's kind of like an end of the cycle kind of thing to get some more out the door.
Yeah, you guys had mentioned that last time too.
Yeah.
Oh, you listened.
Yep.
Aw, Daniel.
Fortnite rewards players for two-factor authentication. I love this. You know, when two-factor
what?
authentication
How did
started
they
to become
reward
mainstream.
them?
You get like emotes or something if you use the feature, don't you?
Ah,
Yep.
cool.
I think that's really cool. I used to hate two-factor authentication because it fucked up my entire job. But now it's like, it's an industry standard. It's necessary. Keep people safe. I like the people that Fortnite, the largest game on the planet right now, is encouraging people to do it.
Right.
Xbox Games with Gold for September just got announced. Prison Architect, which was just announced for Switch. If you don't want to pay full price, you can get it for free on Xbox. Live Lock. Don't know what that is, but you can get it.
I don't either.
don't know.
Lego Star Wars 3. Apparently those games are good. I played a couple of them. Meh. Sega Vintage Collection Monster World. I don't know what that is. Monster World.
I don't know. I haven't heard of this either. I think this is the weakest lineup of
Yeah.
Xbox games with gold
That might
ever.
be the worst Xbox Games with Gold I've ever seen.
Every game we're like, what's that one? I don't know.
And then
one
last one. Yeah,
small
go.
story here.
Go. Talk about it. Say it out loud.
So this is Sony is going to be updating the PlayStation Store search on the PlayStation 4. So right now, how it works? Actually, Chad, you
actually
seem
live
to have
right now. Yeah,
it's
it's
live right now.
it's-
Yeah, you were more passionate about this than I was, I think.
Yeah, it's so stupid. The little when you search for something in the PlayStation Store, how you type in the letter and then you have to scroll through the alphabet list again to type in the second letter, and then scroll through the list again to do the third letter.
I liked it.
You just get a fucking keyboard now. It's great. You can just type in the letters. And what's great about it, too, they've kind of tweaked the algorithm a little bit. Because last time you would type in something, and then you'd see, like, the name of your game and also a long list of 1,000 themes
that
and
is one thing I
DLC.
didn't like with the search. I went to look up the Resident Evil games. I was curious which ones they had it on the PlayStation Store. And the list was longer because it included all the DLC packs of random shit I didn't care about. And it was annoying. The new search also puts a thumbnail next to the game, which is what I would like to have. That's nice. But I liked the vertical list you scroll through of the alphabet.
No, I've been thinking about it, and it's kind of like, you know, you
they
can
cut
get
out
there.
the letters you're not going to need.
Yeah,
So
but
it's
what
not
if you need
as
to put
bad.
2 L's right next to each other? And you got to scroll to L, and then you got to scroll
that's
all
fair.
the way back down to L.
That's fair.
God
but
forbid you're
using,
searching for Mississippi.
But you're saying this as if using a directional pad with a QWERTY keyboard on screen is fun. It's not. That's also a shitty experience.
It's not
just a
fun.
different
It's a
shitty
quality of life
experience.
thing.
Yeah,
It's
this sounds like
when
a
you're-
worse shitty experience, though.
It is. It is.
I like the list because it takes out letters you don't need. A QWERTY keyboard doesn't do that. The list
You're right.
does do that.
You
That's
know
a nice
what?
little
You know
thing.
what? Don't update your firmware.
Maybe I won't, and I'll never play Sony games ever again.
All right, Holden. That's all of our fetch quests. Let's talk about some real shit.
Woo!
Real shit. So, I think this is a good story here. Microsoft is apparently interested in buying more studios. Potentially, it's not so much of, we're definitely doing it. It's more of, they kind of talk about their criteria for what it takes for them to buy a game, or buy a studio, which I thought was interesting. And talk about how it's all about getting games for Game Pass, is kind of the idea. So, what they're looking for in a studio that they're going to buy is anywhere between 50 to 100 people, and they're releasing games every 2 to 3 years. They want that release cadence is important to them. And where was it? They want to get content that's not just about like being AAA franchises. They kind of just want to fill in niches for Game Pass that might entice people to come to subscribe to Game Pass, or even just buy that game potentially. I'd imagine as well. But I like this. They're kind of say they're not trying to hit a quota of like we want to have 10 developers right now. It sounds like they're kind of handling it from a what can we get for Game Pass that'll be beneficial. If it's not going to benefit Game Pass, we're not buying that studio. We're not going to have studios just to have studios. And I kind of like that.
I think it's cool. I like that they're pushing the Game Pass thing because I think it's a stupendous service.
It is a stupendous service. But no, I just think this is an important story to kind of hear about because it's probably the biggest thing that Microsoft has to do going forward still. Even after 4 studios they bought and then 1 they created?
Yeah,
E3?
4 studios and 1, 3 men and a baby. That was it.
So
How much is
it's
Game
kinda
Pass
nice.
now?
$10 a month.
$9.99.
Oh, shit, okay. That is a good deal.
And that gets you all Microsoft first-party games, except for maybe Halo Infinite.
Yeah, maybe not that one, but everything else
And then a ton of other
comes
shit.
day one
Okay.
on Game Pass. So, but they seem to be approaching this the right way. They want to make sure that they're having good quality experiences that are coming on to Game Pass. So I'm happy about that.
I'm also like kind of impressed that they're still looking for studios, considering
Yes.
the 5 that they just built up basically doubled what they have, and they're still looking to go forward with more.
Right.
Do we know how many Sony studios there are?
Sony Worldwide Studios. Oh,
I have no idea.
I want to say it was like 12, but they closed out Drive Club developer. I forgot their name. Sony Worldwide Studios. I mean, nothing's going to compare to Sony's first-party studios. But it's cool that they're trying. Good for them. Good on you, Microsoft. Making some good moves.
Agreed.
London, Gorilla, Media Molecule, Naughty Dog, Santa Monica, San Diego Studio, Sony Bend, Sucker Punch, San Mateo, Japan Studio, and Polyphony Digital. I didn't count that. I just read them. Did you guys count?
Where did you get that list from?
PlayStation.com.
Oh, that's a good source.
Yeah. Oh, and XDev. Oh, that's just external development teams running. Yeah, so a good number.
Interesting. Yeah, that's a good number. I mean, so obviously Microsoft has a lot less than that still, but I do think they need to get more and more for Game Pass, because I was thinking about how this relates to the whole 2 console strategy for next gen, and if one of those is a streaming console,
Yeah, very like Game Pass focused streaming.
Yeah, it's a very Game Pass focused device. I think that people will really only get that device if it is like a secondary console to their PlayStation or whatever it is, if they can get experiences they can't also get on their PlayStation already. Because I don't think Sony's doing this whole streaming console thing. Yeah, it really seems like Microsoft's the only one who's doing it right now, at least from what we know of.
Yeah, they're definitely the only ones vocal about it.
The only one vocal about it, yeah. And I feel like they need to have unique experiences that are going to make that going for a streaming box worth it.
And that's been everyone's biggest criticism of this whole generation is just like there's nothing unique about Xbox. You can play all your third-party shit that you can get everywhere else, but there's nothing unique about playing on Xbox this generation. So I'm glad that they're like investing in that.
Right.
So all good stuff. Good for them. We got another big story here.
Daniel, you brought this to our attention.
I did.
Yeah, Daniel brought this to our attention. So do you want to go for it, Daniel? Do you want to talk about it?
I can, and I guess fill in the gaps for me. Okay.
Yeah.
So, saw this report on Polygon. I don't know what EEDAR is, though.
It's EEDAR?
EEDAR.
Aaron? Don't fuck up, Aaron.
EEDAR.
I'll look it up right now.
I don't know what this is, but so there's a report on gaming in the United States. They interviewed 5,000 people who said that they had played a game within a month of the survey. And so the stats are as follows. 67% of Americans are gamers. Wait, did it say that? 67% are gamers, period? Yes.
Yep. Or
so
play games.
21 million. Yeah, they were the ones that had played the game within the month. Which is 211 million people in the States. So yeah, here's the interesting part. So 34% are mobile only. 59% said that they'd used a mobile device as well as a PC or console. 27% use mobile device or a PC. Is that how that's written? Or
all three, I think. Mobile device, a PC, and a console.
Man, see, as someone who has a PC, the only console I fuck with is Switch right now. But anyway, 27% mobile, PC, and console. Spent an average of 55 games in the last 6 months. Okay, that's interesting.
Less than I thought it would be, actually.
I think that checks out with me personally. No, that's not true. Nope, no, way more. Never mind. I was thinking about it. I was like, nope.
But for everyone, for people like us who buy a lot of games,
there
are people who just buy a handful of them. So I feel like there's got to be so many people who don't buy that much game-related stuff that it brings that number down a lot.
It's the third of people who are just mobile gamers who don't spend any money on it.
Right. And maybe like for like some premium shit.
But even me, I'm a casual mobile gamer, and occasionally I'll put money down on a game, even if it's freemium.
Or my little sister, who's 27 years old, who spent probably close to about $800 on that Jurassic World game that came out on mobile.
Oh my god. Literally?
Yeah. It's the Pokemon Go knockoff, but apparently they're real good at like enticing you to pay money for it.
Wow. That is a franchise that people would like. I can totally see people just nostalgia-ing money into that app.
Yep.
Man, that's a lot of money. Holy shit. I mean, I bought like that Pokemon Gacha thing. That like auto catches Pokemon for you because I'm a cheat.
Oh, the Pokemon, like the bracelet?
Yeah.
EEDAR, by the way, is a portion of the NPD group, which they do market research basically.
Okay. So it's kind of like Nielsen or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
What else? What were we saying? $55 last 6 months.
Yep.
Average of 12 hours a week playing games. I think I'm probably maybe a little north of there, but depends on the week.
Depends on the week for me as well. But that was a lot higher than I thought it would be.
That's higher than I expected.
That's actually really high.
And then this is the one I thought was pretty interesting. 33% of those who 33% of gamers bought a game because they saw it streamed online.
That totally makes sense, though.
26% didn't buy the game because they saw someone play it online.
Also makes sense.
Like what they saw.
Yeah.
Also makes sense, exactly. But there's more people who bought the game because they saw it than didn't buy it. Not by a lot. It's so close that it's not. It's basically the same.
There might be some margin of error in there as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it also could be the influence of, like, you could say that same influence about reviews too. Like a chunk of people bought it because they read a good review. A chunk of people didn't buy it because they read a bad review.
But it kind of goes so you really kind of can't prove, like, to this, you can't prove that people buy. If you were, like, say, Nintendo, that not putting your games online for streaming and that kind of stuff, like by shutting all these streamers down if they post your games content, it doesn't hurt or help you based on this. It's so close, it doesn't hurt or help you. So I kind of feel like in that case, you might as well just let it happen.
And if it's a good game, like, you're going to get free PR, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yep.
But also, like, what is, like, talking about, like, a review versus this, what is a stream that someone's playing live if not, like, an interactive live review? You know what I mean?
Basically, of a vertical slice of the game, I
mean, you can even just ask the streamer their thought on something directly. Yeah.
One thing I have a question about, the first stat, 67% of Americans are gamers.
Yes.
That doesn't necessarily surprise me.
People who play games. That's just anyone who plays a game.
Yeah, I mean, like,
I just think gamers just to, like, make it a shorter
My mom used to play Farmville a lot, so she would count.
So 5,000 people who played within a month of the survey. Why doesn't that automatically mean all 5,000 are gamers?
Yeah, I mean, that tripped me up when I was reading it, but apparently...
Does that mean 2/3 of those 5,000 people identified themselves as, yes, I would consider myself a gamer?
Let me go back to the Instapaper and see the article and how it's worded.
Instapaper.
I'd assume that they asked 5,000 people, and a third of those 5,000 people said they would identify as a gamer.
Oh, interesting.
I didn't listen to what you said. I was thinking about sock and boppers. I'm sorry.
Sock and boppers.
That's okay. That's relevant.
Are you going to bop them once and then sock them twice?
It's more fun than a pillow fight.
Correct.
This is so stupid. Let me see here. So it just says it's found that 67% of Americans play video games, representing an audience of more than 211 million people.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So that was independent of the 5,000.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That was probably, you know what it was? It was probably like them trying to get the 5,000, being like, who plays video games? And then probably a larger sample size.
You're in the study.
Right. Like, you were a part of a larger N of, I don't know, X
There's
thousand
probably
people.
an ad on the train that says, "Do you play video games? Call Northwestern to participate in
There's
the
a
study."
lot of that shit. Yeah, Chicago shout out. There's a lot of that.
My favorite one of those I ever saw was to get you into a study for ADD, and it was just a gigantic paragraph with small letters. Like, you're never going to get
to the end of this paragraph, you do not qualify for this study.
So the last thing that EEDAR pulled from their study here was kind of 6 sections of gamers, or kind of 6 classifications.
Yeah, this is the part that I thought was super interesting. Go on.
Yes, let's classify ourselves.
So we have people talking at once.
Do it.
Nope, just you.
Just
me? Okay. Well, it cuts in and out. It's like it starts that way, and I'm like, oh no, something's happening. Anyway, I'll talk. Super gamers is the first category. 13%. They are quote unquote super invested hardcore gaming fans. These are all going to be direct quotes from the Polygon article. Console warriors is 14%. They spend much of their time playing multiplayer action games. Transitionals is 11%. They're adults who've spent their lives gaming, but now squeeze gaming into their busy lives. Easy accessors, 17%, are young gamers who primarily play whatever they can access, and most often they're mobile games. Daily dabblers are older gamers who regularly play social and casual games. That's like my mom, who plays Words with Friends.
Yep.
She's a daily dabbler. And incidental players, 26%, plays mobile games occasionally. That's the largest, is the incidental players. It's about a fourth.
Right.
So you said that this was very interesting to you, Dan.
It's super interesting. Well, one, because it's a bit of a disclaimer. It's a bit of a pseudoscience. I am dating someone who is a psychologist / neuroscientist. So often when I bring stuff like this to her, she's like, "This is bullshit." She's good. She's good at shutting me down on shit like this. So this is. And I mean, it's like some of it holds, and some of it, it's very loose. These labels, it's very much like when we apply labels to generations, like millennials and baby boomers, and it's just like a loose. Yeah. And this is even more loose, but I do think that like with that disclaimer in mind, it is interesting to look at the numbers of people doing what exactly. I think that's really interesting. Like talking about like our moms. Like my mother, it's not Farmville now, but it's something. I don't know what the fuck she's playing, but Farmville is like was the gateway drug for her.
My parents strictly play Pokemon Go.
Oh my god, really? That's amazing.
Oh no, that's wrong. It's also Donkey Kong Country.
Nice.
But also, when Gen 2 launched on Pokemon Go, and my mom was just sitting on the couch and launched the app and saw there was something new, she looks at my dad and goes, oh, "We've got to go. Get in the car."
That's amazing. That's amazing. Oh my god.
That sounds like a super gamer just for Pokemon Go to me. They are super invested, hardcore Pokemon Go fans.
That is also like my girlfriend, who like literally, in terms of like games that she's only ever played, like for more than an hour of in her life, outside of like socially, Tetris, Pokemon Go, and then after watching me play for a while, Breath of the Wild, and she's put in more hours on Breath of the Wild than me now.
Would you,
hilarious.
Daniel? Everyone knows where we stand on the podcast.
A lot.
Daniel, would you classify Breath of the Wild is the most boring Zelda game on Nintendo Switch?
I would also classify it as the most exciting.
Wait,
Zelda
that was
game.
not the question. That was not the question. I'm glad we all agree. Thank you.
I like
Thank
my
you for joining
opals.
us, Daniel.
Thank you
can
very
leave the
much.
stream.
I love all the opals I receive. They're all amazing.
What would you guys classify yourself as on this list?
I don't know.
I honestly, I want to say I'm a super gamer, but in reality, I think I'm more of a transitional, which is the adults who've spent their lives gaming but now squeeze it into their busy lives.
Mm-hmm.
But I have super gamer ambitions. I think I really love gaming culture and gaming news, and I'm invested in that, but I just don't have the time to actually play all the games I want to play. So I think I'd be transitional.
I'd say I'm incidental. I just play mobile games occasionally.
I'd say that's true. You and Lumines, yeah.
No, I'm probably in the same area where I'm closer to super gamer than I think you are. Just because I think I have more free time, that I don't have to squeeze games into my quote unquote busy life.
Right.
I'm going to school, but I have time to play games, so I'm not squeezing it into my life at all.
Right.
So
but there are times where I'm I don't feel like playing games. I might go a month without playing a game because I just didn't feel like playing a game.
You better not. We have a game we need to play every month.
I know. But I can get like that sometimes. I get when Breath of the Wild came out, I put 50 hours in that game in a weekend.
Nice.
Because I got super into it and got super invested, but then I just might not touch games for a while. And I've always been that way. I get super hardcore invested, and then I'm not.
That sounds like ADHD.
I have been diagnosed,
there you go.
It's very possible.
I feel you.
Yeah, but it was by Daniel's girlfriend on this stream right now.
That's right.
She's whispering it sounds like he has ADHD. Tell him. Does he have a good relationship with his parents?
Psychoanalyzing everyone. I don't know where I want to say probably on the higher end console warrior, and then on the lower end easy accessor is where I am.
I was definitely an easy accessor as a kid. When 2008 is when the App Store came out on iPhone, and I was 15. So when I was younger, I definitely would just search for any free game I could find just to play something.
You remember Doodle Jump?
Do you remember Super Monkey Ball?
Oh, Super Monkey Ball was great, but that was $10. That was
expensive.
One of the first games.
I know. That was a big investment on my iPod Touch at the time.
Wasn't Doodle Jump $1
I had the original
though?
iPod Touch. Doodle Jump, it was $1. Doodle Jump was great.
Doodle Jump was such a good game. I kind of want to download it again, but it's probably be what is this garbage?
Daniel, have you played Boost 2 or 3s before?
No. Oh my God, Boost 2! You shut the fuck up.
I said it just to get that reaction from you, Chad. Boost 2 and 3s are great games.
What a great article. Interesting. Hey, tweet us what fucking gamer you are. Great. Main quest.
Great. Moving on.
Hold on, we're going to move on to our main quest, and because you took notes like a madman, I'm going to let you lead this discussion.
Oh, man, I'm so excited right now. So, just as a surprise, it was yesterday, CD Projekt Red decided to show off the gameplay demo that they showed off behind closed doors for Cyberpunk 2077 on a Twitch live stream. They made some different choices than the other than at Gamescom and at E3 behind doors demos, but it was fucking amazing.
It's pretty wild.
I was very into it.
I was so blown away by this. It is already now my most anticipated game. It's above whatever the next Zelda game is. It's above Last of Us Part 2. I'm unbelievably impressed with what
Can I just say, like, I didn't know what the release date was, and when I saw June 2019, I was like extremely angry. Like, I was pissed for the rest of the day. I was like, God fucking damn it.
What do you mean release date June 2019?
Isn't that when the release date is? Did I get that wrong?
For Cyberpunk?
There's no confirmed release date.
Oh, that's what it
There's no
says on the
confirmed release.
fucking wiki page. Then I'm even more angry.
Really? It says I gotta look that up. Because it shouldn't be saying that.
It shouldn't be saying that. No, there's
It's on the
no
Cyberpunk
confirmed release
2077
date
wiki page?
for Cyberpunk. It's actually something they announced before Witcher 3 that they were working on
Yeah.
Really?
years ago.
Wow, that's wild.
But then they said, by the way, you're not going to hear anything about this game for another 4 or 5 years.
Oh, no,
Well,
it's not on the
in
wiki
the-
page. I don't know where I got that. But anyway, I'm upset that it's not coming out anytime soon.
Yeah. I think based on looking at this, it's sooner than I originally thought. Because this looked pretty polished from what I saw.
Yeah, I was surprised when because they just last week, they just announced that the game is officially playable start to finish, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't think it's playable to the quality that we saw in the demo.
No. But that's the milestone they hit, which is usually for God of War. That was 18 months out. 18 months out, they hit. You can play this start finish, and then it took them a year and a half to finish it.
Okay.
I haven't beaten God of War yet, but I'm assuming that Cyberpunk is going to be a far larger experience than God of War.
I assume so.
Yeah. But I mean, so all right, let's get into the demo itself and talk a little bit about it. I watched it in its entirety, actually a few times. I like to. Chad, you watched it in its entirety as well, and Danny, you said you kind of watched through it. You said,
Yeah, for like a few minutes here and there. I kind of skipped around and checked a few things out.
all good. I just wanted to get kind of like initial impressions from you guys, what you thought from it, like what things that stood out to you that you enjoyed, and then we'll kind of get into some like nitty gritty details once we get further into the discussion.
I thought the like minute to minute gameplay of you going around the world, I am really interested to see. I mean, they did show a lot, but that didn't quite catch my attention as much as the combat did. Seeing the combat at the end of it blew my mind. Some of those awesome combat mechanics. That's what I'm looking forward to most. I want to battle a lot in this world.
I kind of agree with the navigation where open world. So I was thinking actually about Deus Ex.
Yeah,
because this is
It did remind me a lot of that. Yeah.
the world looks much more immersive, a lot more real, and just more realistically laid out than Deus Ex. But I think that you might run into a similar navigational issue where in Deus Ex, because it's just cities and buildings everywhere, or just buildings everywhere in a city, it might say, "Oh, head in this general direction to go to that point." But then you are walking towards that point and realize you actually have to go down the block and then take a left, and because you have to go around the block.
Right.
And I'm kind of curious if they handle things like that. It seems like they just kind of point you in the direction you're supposed to go.
Okay.
And I would like something a little bit better than that if I'm going to be navigating a world this dense with this much stuff in it.
Yeah, I feel
Again.
like
Like some games might say, you need to get here, so start by walking to the end of this corridor, then take a left.
a turn
And
by
they might
turn.
kinda
You're
just-
saying, or like a
Not turn by turn, but like their waypoint is going to be the next turn you have to make. And then once you make that turn,
I
a
see.
new waypoint will
I see,
show
I
up
see.
to the next turn you have to make.
I mean,
and that's what I want to see from this.
That's like the waypoint version of turn by turn.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I can't remember what game I saw that in, but I've seen that before in a game.
They did that in kind of like BioShock.
Yes,
The
they do
arrow
that
would
in
like point you to a
BioShock, yeah.
doorway, then you get to the doorway, and then it points you to the next thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I think that would work well for this because I didn't.
Yeah,
it
keep
didn't
in mind, by the
seem
way,
like it worked
all
that
of
way.
these systems, the HUD, all of these things are very, very early. So we
Yes,
could
they
definitely
were.
see a big overhaul in that.
They were, but let's talk about those systems and HUDs because that was really impressive to me. They all looked really cool.
Yeah.
So much of this of the HUD they try to build into the real world whenever possible too, which I kind of liked.
Yeah, I like that touch.
So there was this great moment. Did you see the Ripper Doctor, Daniel?
No.
So there's this point where she goes, your character V goes to what's called a Ripper Doctor, and that's what gives you your upgrades and to get new parts or your new perks and stuff. And when you go through the menu of different perks to get, he literally just pulls up a screen and is like, hey, like, here are the options. What do you think? And as you look at them, he'll kind of mention something like, oh, I don't know how I got that part, but, and he'll tell you a little story about that component. And it just kind of feels like an interaction
Yeah.
with what that Ripper Doctor would be like.
That's pretty dope.
So the UI is just kind of baked into the world in some ways, not in every way, which is super awesome.
That is like super. Like every time I see the UI like overlaid on things in the world is super dope. I mean, like as a designer, this shit is like my dream, man. It's fucking also just like the aesthetic. I mean, again, as like a visual person, what I do for my job, I like am so just impressed. I'm less paying attention to the gaming mechanics. I mean, I am a little bit, but more so just like the world and the design of the thing. It's fucking crazy. It's very well done thus far in this video.
Yeah, they build the UI into the world in such a way that in some ways it doesn't feel like a game. So like when you wake up in your apartment and you're going out for the day, you go to your closet and you look at the clothes that's in your closet and you'll see the stats of your different clothing to wear. And then you choose to put it on. You don't go to a menu to change your clothing. It's like in your closet in your apartment.
Which is awesome. Like that's such a cool,
it's very cool
little thing. Yeah, that part is amazing.
And there's little things like that all over the demo from what I saw.
But also just like the vibes, like again, like, you know, coming from like a very aesthetic vibe type career that I do, you know, like this is just like such a cool fucking mood and ambiance that it has. Like it's so fucking well done. I'm super pumped about just that alone. But yeah, go on.
I'd be kind of curious with this kind of like the world and the UI being the same, like going back to the Ripper Doctor, where when you go to upgrade perks, you're just kind of going to see the Ripper Doctor as if it's a visit to go see the Ripper Doctor in the real world of Cyberpunk 2077. Is that going to get tiresome when you're 80 hours into this game and you're going to see a Ripper Doctor for the millionth time and you just want to get that perk and leave? Or is every experience with the Ripper Doctor going to feel unique and different, so it's fine and it doesn't get to be kind of cumbersome?
I don't know. I think that also depends on the dialogue options, like if it's the same dialogue over and over again, or if it's like at least somewhat switched up.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, how much of this too is like procedural? So there is a point where you go, like if you go see Ripper Doctor, is it going to be like a copy and paste kind of mentality where he has a similar attitude, might have some similar lines, like you're kind of saying? That could really ruin it, I think. But even in that terms of like dialogue options, that felt unique too. Did you guys see the UI for the dialogue options?
Yeah.
Sometimes it gave you options to interact with different people as opposed to just one person. And that was really cool, as well as not just things to say, but actions instead.
Yeah, like in there was like a point where you could, I think you actually wrote it in here. Yeah, rather than negotiate, you could grab your gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the narrator kind of warns and says, hey, these guys are higher level than you. That might not be a good idea to do that. But you certainly can. And that is pretty neat. But in that moment, too, the scenario is you are going to go see this corporate agent person who's going to give you a job or something like that. And when you get there, her bodyguard is basically just pushing you up against their car and has a gun to your face. So you're talking to the corporate agent, but the bodyguard is still present. So you're seeing dialogue options for the corporate agent, and then underneath that it says, bodyguard, grab gun. You can like grab his gun from him while you're talking to the corporate agent instead. Have you ever seen a game do that before? I've never seen dialogue wheels with different characters on that wheel.
No.
That's a pretty unique thing. I'm curious how that can play out in there too. What was the other part of the dialogue or the decisions I thought was interesting? There's something else. I can't remember. But it definitely does kind of feel like a Fallout or kind of Skyrim style RPG. In the sense that you're kind of... I didn't get the vibe that there's this like overarching story in it. It kind of feels like there's a hint of a story throughout it, but you're kind of just doing these jobs to move up the criminal ladder.
Right.
Yeah. That's the one thing that I think from this, it's tough to tell a story in a world that big with that much choice.
Yeah.
That I'm really interested to see how they, like, how invested are they going to be in that? Are they going to tout this as, like, this amazing cute world with this really awesome story as well? Or are they going to kind of just rely on the world to do a lot of little storytelling?
Yeah, like if it's going to be a giant world that's like 4 inches deep or like a small pond that's super deep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But let's talk about that combat.
Yes.
Oh my god. First of all,
say-
these guns look fucking sick.
Yeah, I literally put a note
yeah,
here saying,
they're really
new favorite
fucking-
shotgun? You bet your fucking ass it is.
You put your fucking ass.
Yeah, I did write you put your fucking ass, but I meant to say you bet your fucking ass.
Yes, so many mechanics. So they said, we've unlocked a lot of things for this particular demo to show you some combat options. They've got
At the very end, they
ricochet
said that.
bullets. But
Yeah.
not just ricochet bullets. You can actually see and plan out the path that
Yeah.
the bullets are going to ricochet.
Oh, I didn't see that.
That was
What
really
the
cool.
fuck?
Yeah, they've also got this hacking thing. So the entire
Oh, the hacking was so cool. That was my
so
favorite
cool.
part.
So she takes out, she sneaks up behind this guy, and she hacks into the little computer chip in his head, and he's connected to the entire criminal organization. So she
Well,
gets like
it's that squad. Just that squad.
right,
that is
yeah,
that
sorry,
building.
yeah, the whole like patrol squad that they're in. And so then she is able to gain access to all of that by hacking it. So then she jumps up on the wall with these giant mantis blade things on her arms and starts scaling the wall.
Oh,
and then from above,
I saw this part. Yes.
yeah, she hacks this guy
Yeah.
to cut off the link between him and his gun, so that whenever she jumps down and kills his partner, he can't shoot her. And that just like, I creamed my eyeballs, I
There
creamed
you
my
go.
face, I creamed everything.
My coconut.
My coconut. Oh my god, it was so good. And
That's like that is like what Watch Dogs is trying to do.
Yes.
yeah, but fuck
yes.
Watch Dogs. I mean, good try, but this is not Cyberpunk. But then the fucking insane bullet time, like it reminded me a lot of Horizon Zero Dawn. You know, sliding on the ground, shooting the underbelly of
Right.
something. Seeing that
Yeah.
whenever she's fighting the big bad at the end,
Oh.
whenever he's like got the shield and shit.
When you go into slow motion, she takes her shotgun out and blows out this guy's legs.
Yes!
And in slow motion, you just hear him go, "Oh Jesus, fuck my legs!"
Oh, I laughed so loud. Oh, fuck my legs.
But then his head gets blown off during that, and he's still talking.
Oh god, I cannot wait to play the combat.
The one where it was such an insanely badass combat moment for me, it was the
What?
very beginning. It's when V sneaks up to this guy, pushes him in the water, and I'm thinking, oh, she's going to drown this guy in the water. But no, she puts her gun under the water and puts a bullet in his head.
my God.
But it's silenced by the water, being underwater. It's a really cool moment.
Oh, I think I missed that, but that sounds so fucking good.
It was so fucking... It's right in the very beginning. Just try, whenever you get a chance, just rewatch it for that. It's badass. There's a ricochet targeting system. We talked about that. Hacking into
I just saw the
enemies.
water thing. That's crazy. I'm literally just
Oh, you
like,
just saw it?
I'm literally just moving around in the video right now. Wow.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool option. That's also another example, too, of your dialogue options also being action options. They put it as it's gameplay driven. So, something about the combat, too, I wanted to talk about. Where was that? I feel like I don't have all my notes on here. I thought I made more notes than this.
Guess you're a failure.
That's right.
I guess I am a failure. I suck. I'm terrible.
I do love, man, the aesthetic. It's so like Blade Runner meets like. This might not be absolutely accurate, but the closest thing that comes to mind off the top of my head right now is like a Miami Vice kind of vibe in terms of like the color palette.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
the the Miami Vice is like the like pastel pink and like light blue.
Yeah.
Like it's a lot of that.
Yeah.
type of
It's
color
like
palette.
very much like kind of Miami or Miami
Vice
feel,
City.
like the Vice City, like Grand Theft Auto Vice City.
Yeah.
Has a similar vibe.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool too because this is Cyberpunk's not new. I mean, Cyberpunk has been around for a long time and it has a pretty, what's the term? A lot of the Cyberpunk stuff looks very similar. It all looks the same because it's all at nighttime usually, like neon buildings at night. Mm-hmm. This for being during the day and still maintaining that feel was very cool.
Yes,
for me.
exactly. Because like, God, most of at least the first Blade Runner movie, yeah, I think the majority of the thing is just dark and dank, and that's just the vibe you get. And then that's influenced like every other Cyberpunk type thing ever, like Ghost in the Shell, et cetera, et cetera.
Yep.
Yeah, it's awesome to see this maintain that that mood during the day as well. I 1000% agree. And also like all the like when I read books that are world building, I love them. And I love when they're just like walking out in the open and just like seeing people in the streets and stuff, and you just get this like little slice of life scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I fucking love it. I think they did a really good job there. There's like a girl taking a selfie by like the metro station or whatever, and there's like a bunch going on then.
Well, when you when you first walk out into the city and you're seeing all these people walking around, that's a total wow moment. And I usually hate this in demos when the announcer will say, "This is the most realistic, city or crowd control we've ever had for a city landscape ever in our games before, or ever in games period, or whatever." I usually hate that stuff, but they said that in this, and like, yeah, I can see that. I can't think of anything else that looks nearly this good and this believable. Everyone felt unique. Every person was special. Their own special flower.
Their own little unique unicorn flower.
The unicorn flower. I want to see those.
Another thing I like, too, is just how naturally things played out in terms of like the mission structure and everything.
Yeah.
Go out. What do you mean by that?
So like you get a call from your friend. He says he's got a job for you. You go talk to him. He's like, yeah, this guy Dex is heard about that thing we did saving this girl, so he wants to see you. He's right around the corner over there. So you go around the corner, and he's waiting for you in his car. You hop in the car, and the car's driving around the city as he's giving you the briefing on what he wants you to do. He goes, there's this corporate person that we might be able to take advantage of here. Here's your location. Want to go talk to her? You can. And he drops you off, and you can decide, hey, do I want to go talk to the corporate person? It felt like a natural situation. It didn't feel like I was going to a waypoint on a map It didn't feel like they were going to waypoint on a map to complete the mission.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
It felt like it was playing out through the interactions of the characters. So like when you get to a point where you're communicating with people, that conversation seems to play out pretty naturally. Like, so I'm a little spoiler here, but like we were playing Heavy Rain for our B.A.R.F this month. And there's a lot of dialogue options in choosing what you have to say. And so many times it felt like, and maybe we just haven't seen a full conversation in this game, so this might be true here too, but it feels like you just have the start of a conversation and then a bunch of different things you can say that don't necessarily flow as a conversation.
Yeah.
It's like the character is a detective. They need to know 5 things. So they can just ask 5 questions in any order. Therefore, it's not going to flow as a normal conversation would.
Okay.
Whereas this felt like it flowed like a normal conversation would.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, like
Did you get that vibe too?
So then you're saying the dialogue in this game, because a lot of the comments I saw on it was like that they were afraid that maybe the dialogue wouldn't be as natural as it could since everything's focused on like the aesthetics and like the combat and whatnot. But what you're saying is the opposite. You're saying the dialogue's actually like super believable and super immersive.
Well, it's more that it's not so much that the actual words they're saying are, yes, they would say that exact thing. I know they would. It's more that it flows from going back to the character I was making. You're the detective character in a game that is not Cyberpunk, right? And you have 4 things you need to ask. Those 4 questions. There's going to be no transition between those 4 questions. Sure. It's going to be a hard cut between, I asked this question, you gave me an answer. Cool. Another question, answer. Right. Cool. Another question, answer. Whereas this felt like when you chose an option, it naturally just flowed into the next thing that happens in that interaction with that person.
I see. Okay, yeah.
Does that make more sense? And that's what worked pretty well for me. Because, again, a lot of it's your actions are playing into that as well, as opposed to just what you're saying.
Right,
so, like, maybe there's that point where you're talking to the gangsters, and you can kind of reason with them, or you can hand them your credit chip to just pay them. So you're kind of like, rather than saying, I can pay you, you're just handing it over to them.
Right.
Like, your actions are a part of that. It really worked for me, is the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah.
It really worked for me.
Totally.
The other thing is it has, and this isn't original, but it just has something I like in these open world games, and these kind of impromptu moments where Jackie and V are driving in the car, which, first of all, the interior of that car is awesome. It was so cool looking. And all of a sudden, these scavengers pull up to you and start shooting at you. But just before that, before you got in your car, there was a scavenger who was eyeing your car and was interested in it that Jackie kicked out and told him to get out of the car. We don't want you to be around our car. And then the scavengers come after you after that interaction occurred. So it kind of felt like, oh, here's this kind of like natural in the moment event that happened. That's not part of the story. It just kind of happens. Like Red Dead Redemption, the first one, did that a lot, where you could be the sheriff or you could be the outlaw. And if you were the outlaw, based on the bounty on your head, you might just have the sheriff coming after you randomly while you're in the middle of the desert.
Oh, you're fucking starving and thirsting to death? Great. Well, I'm going to come hunting your ass, too.
Exactly. So I like those kind of moments, and it seems like it's going to have those in this game as well.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Just a more believable world. Love it.
Anything else you guys want to bring up about Cyberpunk?
No, I don't think I gathered nearly as much as you did from it.
I had a great time with this demo. I did read a lot of the comments from people just to kind of see what the consensus was on it. Everyone seemed to like it. A lot of people seemed upset, though, that it wasn't third person.
I think
How do you guys feel about that?
Like with all the dialogue options, I feel like that makes it kind of weird if it is third person. Although Mass Effect did that kind of okay.
Yeah,
I don't know, but those also required like specific cutscenes for you to have those options too.
Mm-hmm. I kind of feel like this wouldn't work as well in third person because part of the immersiveness is how it's your perspective.
Yeah.
Like, you can get these augmentations that change your vision. You can zoom in and things like that.
Yeah, it's hard to see that in third person.
It's hard to do that in third person,
right.
exactly. So I kind of feel like it could only be in first person. But that's like the one thing I see a lot is that people are upset.
What is this 9/11 conspiracy you have in here?
Oh, I thought this was really funny. So this person, Mundo Motorsport on an IGN YouTube video, commented the release date for the game, his conspiracy theory. So the game is called Cyberpunk 2077. In the name, or in the 2077, it goes 20 little dot before the 7 and then another dot before the other 7. So his conspiracy theory is that if you turn that around, it's July 7th, 2020.
I'm sure they did not plan that date.
I'm sure they didn't either.
6 years
but it
ago,
is a
whenever they announced
Tuesday,
it.
which is interesting, which is when games usually come out.
All right.
And the game itself that this is based off of, Cyberpunk, is a paper pencil game like Dungeons and Dragons. The original version was called Cyberpunk 2020.
That is... Man, this is one of those like fan theories that like sounds really, really good. Like,
yeah, but then it's still a
believing
fan theory. Yeah. So like if it happened that way, where like there's a trailer for Cyberpunk 2077, and then like the 2070 like glitches out and it flips, and then it shows the release date as 7/7/20, that'd be a really cool moment or something.
If they
like
weren't
that,
planning
but,
it, they should steal this conspiracy theory and like soft plan
like
it for that.
released a half baked game because that idea is so good.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's a cool theory, but it might not happen. Probably won't happen.
Great. Well, that was our main quest for Cyberpunk 2077. Go watch the footage. Let us know what you thought of it. Holden, I want to transition now. We are going along to our B.A.R.F. backlog accomplishment with Respawn and Friends. I want to keep this short for two reasons. One, I mostly want to use it as a cautionary tale to keep people from playing this game.
Oh, really?
Two, Daniel is not familiar with Heavy Rain, so I don't want to ostracize him. But Heavy Rain from Quantic Dream, David Cage's like first real kind of breakout game, was our game that we were playing for B.A.R.F. in August. We obviously know how I felt about it just now. Holden, what was your overall top experience on this?
You clearly didn't like it. I would have agreed with you in the first maybe few hours of it, but I really enjoyed the last half of the game a lot, actually.
My biggest thing, I actually played this game. I played it, this is the third time I played it now. I played it back in 2011 twice. Loved it both times. I was crazy about this game. And when you said, hey, let's play this for August, I was like, yes, I love that game. But having played Detroit Become Human, which was their newest game they just released, since then, this game is bad. I noticed everything was... The voice acting was some of the most atrocious voice acting I've ever seen in a video game.
Yeah, there were definitely some problems.
Jason! It was so bad. There were so many problems with the conversations. The whole game is built around conversations and completing these actions.
And they don't flow naturally.
Yeah, so for anyone who doesn't know, this game is you're basically playing out a story of a serial killer. and you're trying to figure out who the serial killer is. He kidnaps one of the character's sons. He plays 4 different characters throughout this thing. And you have choices you can make throughout the game that influence the result of
It's an interactive movie.
Basically.
Yeah.
The choices in this game compared to something like Detroit are like, you can't even call them choices. Because I feel like everything pretty much ends up exactly as it will, regardless of whatever you choose, when compared to something as complex. I'm trying not to use this as a pimp for Detroit, but also Detroit was so good. But Heavy Rain, as you mentioned with the dialogue, the problem was you have all of these different dialogue things that you can say, but none of them link together well.
Yeah.
So you might be shouting something, or I choose like 5 in a row. I say, all right, you know what? I'm Kana. What's up? My name is Kana with the stupid accent. and I'm like, I'm going to keep calm through this entire thing. And my guy's over there is interrogating someone. I'm keeping calm the entire time. And then I'm left with one choice that is like pulling him off the guy. And suddenly he freaks out, like goes from 0 to 100. And there's no transition that does not flow at all. Totally brings you out of that experience.
Yeah.
So like,
is that it not aging well, or is that it not being that well done?
It's not well written. I will agree.
It is not. It's not well written.
I will agree to that. So, like, and I was trying to figure out if this is an issue with the writing or if it's an issue with the structure, like how an interactive movie like this has to be structured with the different choices and potential different narrative outcomes that happen towards the end. Character development really struggles as a result.
Oh, gosh,
it's really bad. Like, so, like, 2 things. One is the father who loses his kid. There's this origami killer who has kidnapped this guy, Ethan's son. And I don't care that Sean was kidnapped because he's a shitty kid who doesn't have any personality and just literally sits there and watches television while your dad's like, do you want to do homework? No, Dad, I just want to watch TV. Like, can't wait to get that kid back in the house. He sounds horrible. So I don't care about him. And then I don't get the sense there's this like relationship between the father and son, because when you finally get him to do the homework in the beginning, you're just like staring at your child while he's doing his homework, and it's really kind of creepy and weird.
Isn't that one of those
he's just
like
sitting across the table and he's just watching his son, and I'm like, is this the bonding between the father and son that's supposed to make me care about the relationship? Because they're literally doing nothing. They're doing nothing at all.
Did you do the awkward juggling while he was doing his homework too?
Yes.
And you just like, I don't know, you don't say anything. You just pick up 3 pieces of fruit, you juggle them, you drop it, you put it back. That's it. Kid doesn't react. You don't say a word, and you all pretend it didn't happen.
What the fuck?
And then the kid goes missing, and I'm like, great. Awesome. He's gone. So the other character development thing that was really weak, and this is kind of spoilers for the end of it, but there's a character named Norman who is I guess he's an FBI agent who's coming to Pennsylvania.
That's his name, Norman, not Connor.
Yeah.
Norman.
He does have a terrible accent. He's an FBI agent coming from Washington to Pennsylvania to investigate the origami killer. He's also a junkie, I guess, but I don't know what drug he does. It's just a blue vial.
Tripped something.
Tryptophan?
Tripped something?
No, it's something made up for the game. Some futuristic thing that helps him with his glasses.
But it's not futuristic. It takes place in 2011 still, doesn't it?
But he's got those glasses, so obviously.
But he's got those AR glasses that.
Yeah. It's
so random he has those AR. We'll get to that in a second. So he's a junkie, and there's all these sequences in the beginning, or there's 2 sequences in the beginning where he starts getting withdrawal and he needs to get his fix, but he's not going to, so you have to like walk to the sink as he's stumbling, basically, just to kind of wash his face and kind of calm him down. Which I don't think it would work that well just to wash water on your face, but whatever for the gameplay.
It does. It does.
It does? All right. Chad's
I'm going through withdrawal now.
So that happens, and okay, so I've been playing this character as if he's been doing good with his recovery, right? And then later on in the game, there are 2 moments where he just takes, like, I didn't choose it. He just took his medication or his drugs again. And I'm
That's what I'm saying.
So, like, that's not consistent with his character at all. But then, like, the last scene, if he survives, because he can die, in the last scene, there's this whole thing of him being in the bathroom. He's getting that feeling again. He holds the vial, and he's like, nah, and he throws it in the toilet. I'm like, there is no character development in that. He was doing great, then he wasn't, and now he's throwing his drugs again.
That's exactly what I mean. I don't feel like any of these choices really have consequence. Yes, every character can die that you play as. Mm-hmm. and by the end of the game, that means they could help you find the killer, or they could not help you, or your son dies, your son lives, whatever.
Yeah.
But I purposefully, this time, for a couple of reasons, played it completely differently than I had the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, when I was trying to overcome his addiction, this time I was like, yeah, fucking take the drug. Or I'm going to help this girl with this domestic abuse, get this guy out of her apartment, or, fucking beat the hell out of her. Do whatever you want to do. Like, I purposely did the opposite of what I did last time. And the result, like, it doesn't matter at all.
Yeah.
The next chapter, it's as if it changed nothing at all.
So if you want to raise a serial killer, have them play this game.
That's right. And oh my god, it is so hard to kill a character in this game. I literally had to sit there and not press anything at all. Like it says, hit the right, quick! And I would hit left, or I would do nothing. And it was just like, they kept stumbling, but then they get back up and they keep running, and it's like, all right, you're going to run into head-on traffic. And then it was like, I'm not going to touch a thing.
Well, to be fair, they also couldn't have it be, you got everything, but just happened to miss that one button prompt, and then you're dead. That would be kind of shitty if that happened.
But what I want to put out there, if you are playing this game like Holden was, to say, I really want to play Detroit, but I also, I want to see where it came from first, don't do it. Don't do it, because when you play Detroit, you're going to... It is everything this game wanted to be. The conversations flow. When you make choices, you literally see huge dialogue trees. And as we've talked about, I was listening to reviews, I was like, I literally had no idea that entire scenario could happen because I made a different choice 5 chapters ago. Like, that game is the epitome of what they wanted Heavy Rain to be. And I think it's done so well with actors you know and recognize and who are good. And it's really well written. Play Detroit. Forget Heavy Rain. I liked Beyond Two Souls, but who the fuck knows how I feel about it now? But all I know is don't play Heavy Rain. Maybe look it up. And to be honest, it does have an 87 on Metacritic. It won 3 BAFTA awards. So it's like, at the time it came out, I guess it was really revolutionary. And I remember loving it, but...
I mean, context is important.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
I don't disagree with the things that you're saying. I do think my opinion is a little bit different just because I haven't played Detroit Become Human before.
Oh, you should.
So I really want to.
Ooh, this game
made me...
I'm just looking through it right now. It looks super interesting.
Heavy Rain or Detroit?
Detroit.
Yeah, it does seem really good. What I got from this was, hey, this isn't the best example probably of what an interactive movie game could be, but I get the idea... And now the technology is better, I'm more curious to see how much better it's gotten. So I'm definitely want to play Detroit more than I have before.
Good. I'm glad you at least walked out of that feeling a little positive.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say I wasn't as deterred from Heavy Rain as you were. And I think it's because I don't have that nostalgia of when it first came out. I think a game like this probably would have a hard time with that because it's going for realistic. It's going for feeling real. So it's going to be harder for it to live up to that. Was it 7 years later?
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that might be why it's not holding up as well for you. So I actually would say if you haven't played Detroit before, maybe give this one a try before you play Detroit. Because I didn't mind it too much. The story wasn't as super strong. The characters I thought were bad. But I enjoyed it still at the end when things were kind of finishing up and I was seeing how things were playing out and seeing some of the consequences of my actions, even though, as you kind of put, they're not as drastic as you would hope. It was still kind of nice to see some of those. Yeah. Like Sean... I did end up finding Sean the kid, but the dad didn't because I didn't kill the guy when I was supposed to kill him.
Oh, yes, you didn't get the address?
I didn't get the address. I thought that I had enough to guess it because apparently there's a way to guess it at the end if you have if you completed 3 or 4 of the challenges, but I didn't do that.
How did you cut off your finger?
I used the plier.
Oh my god.
Oh. I used the knife this time, but I used a saw one of the other times, and that's one of the toughest things, like making yourself cut your finger off.
I used the plier, but then I also disinfected it, and I used the metal rod.
Did you cauterize it?
To cauterize it,
You get a trophy, I think, if you completely cut off your finger safely.
So I did it safely.
I also really like.
I've really like the fact that, so I know how to do it properly. So
I like that the serial killer ended up being one of your characters. Which is even though they had to straight up lie to you in the pawn shop scene or the typewriter scene,
they didn't
I liked that.
lie to you. I don't think
They did.
No, they do. They do just show him walk in
you
and find
play
the
him
body.
walk into the back and find the dead body,
Yeah.
and then later they're like, "Oh no, he actually killed that person."
That is kind of lazy writing.
Yeah.
That's kind of lazy. You couldn't have guessed it because I lied.
Yep. All right, hold on. What last thoughts do you have about Heavy Rain? Great.
I actually like the music a lot. The music was good. Why was that funny?
There's just a long delay, and so I assumed there was nothing that you wanted to say. So.
Oh no! I was just thinking about it. No, I liked the music a lot.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Next up for September, we are playing Donkey Kong Country 2: Diddy's Kong Quest. I'm going to be playing it on a hacked SNES Classic that my brother hacked.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
Illegal, Chad?
It is not illegal because
You're gonna go to jail?
I didn't say it out loud. So
And then
Wait, is it?
whatever you don't
Is
say
that
is
actually?
illegal. I mean,
Illegal?
you're
I have
downloading
no
a
idea.
ROM.
I don't-
Yeah.
I hope not.
My parents own the cartridge, so
There you go.
you can also
I
play
have
it on
the
Virtual
VHS,
Console
so I
on
can
the
pirate
Wii
this
U.
movie.
That's right.
Find a way to play it. Tell us your thoughts. Drawbean, Tunic, we are going to postpone your interrogative about indie games until next week, just for time's sake. Thank you for writing in, but we are going to come back to that. Welcome to our end game. We are going to talk about 3 things. Woo. 1, we're going to go over a poll for the week. 2, we're going to talk about participation award because one of you guys is winning $20 tonight. 3, we've got 2 quick games that I'm very excited to play with these 2 gentlemen. Number 1, our poll for this week I put out yesterday. So, Cyberpunk 2077 gameplay was shown to the public today. What release date do you think we'll see? You have 4 options. My birthday, your birthday, Santa's birthday, or is Santa's birthday Christmas?
It's not. That's Jesus' birthday.
Overwhelmingly, everyone thinks it's going to come out on his Santa's birthday's Christmas, with 56%. I personally voted for your birthday because I think that's really when it's going to come out.
That's right.
Participation award. You guys, one person is walking away $20 richer in game credit tonight because they either introduced us to someone new, they recommended us to a friend, they reviewed us on a podcast service of their choice, they interacted with us on Twitter, submit a subscriber interrogative, all sorts of shit you can do to get entries into our fucking thing. And I'm just talking to Stahl while I bring up the spreadsheet with all of the entries on it. Here we go. We've got 22, up from 8 last month. We've got 22 entries for our participation award. We're going to find out who it is. Can I get a drum roll for my guests? Hey Siri, roll a 22-sided die. Hold on, your drum roll was too loud. Roll a 22-sided die.
Oh, I was like, did she already say it? Okay.
Pick a number 1 to 22. Jesus Christ. 10. Number 10 is Fez IRL on Twitter. Congratulations, sir. You have won $20. I assume it's Steam, but I'm still going to DM you on Twitter to find out what you want.
It's Fez. It's definitely Steam.
It's definitely Steam.
It's definitely Steam.
If you guys...
No, just send him a Nintendo Switch one.
Didn't he sell a Switch? I think he sold a Switch.
Oh, he did.
No, we'll send him Xbox. We know how much he loves Xbox. You guys can participate. Again, we're still doing 2 entries if you tell us how you discovered our podcast, because I really want to freaking know. But what I've been looking forward to most is Game On Game Show. It's our new segment where... Hold on, I actually wrote this out. Are you guys ready? This is Game On Game Show, the game show. Game On, gamed on our gaming show with Respawn Aim Fire.
Game on,
This week we've
game
got
show.
2 games. Game on, indeed. I've got one game show game about Pokemon, because I know that we have a huge Pokemon fan in Daniel here on the podcast. So I wanted to cater to that.
Oh, man.
I've got another one that hopefully is a recurring segment. We're going to start with Pokemon. We're going to wrap up with that other one. So this game, I actually found... I was inspired by Easy Allies podcast. They play a game submitted by a user called Pokemon or Animal, where they read the description, and they have to figure out, is it a Pokedex description or a real-life animal?
Oh, man.
And I heard some really crazy shit on there. So I'm like, all right, let's figure out some really great Pokemon descriptions. Shit, hold on. I've lost it. Sweet Jesus. Got it. All right, so I'm going to describe a Pokemon from their Pokedex entry. I'll tell you the version of Pokemon they came from, and for holding's sake, I did not include X, Y, black, white, I kind of kept it to the first couple of generations.
Dang. Okay.
Or something that appears from those, but also is in something like Sun and Moon.
Okay.
I appreciate that, thank you. Because
So-
I have no fucking clue.
I'm going to go ahead and describe it. I need you guys to guess the Pokemon. Its skin is very thin. If it is exposed to light, its blood heats up, causing it to grow weak. This is from Pokemon Gold.
Oh, Jesus. One more time?
Skin is... So it's probably
Its
going to be in
skin
a
is
cave.
very thin.
Uh-huh.
If it is exposed to light, its blood heats up, causing it to grow weak.
Gen 2, you said?
The
Yes,
description
Gen 2.
comes from Gold.
Okay, Gen 2.
That's all I'll say.
Huh.
I'm thinking it's going to be a cave-based Pokemon. It has to be somewhere they're not outside in the sun, potentially. Or they're only out at nighttime, at least.
That's a good guess.
And I know there was a lot of dark Pokemon that were only out at night in Gold and Silver.
Oof. Or a water Pokemon.
But oh yeah, or a water Pokemon.
Fuck.
Shit. So can I ask you, Chad? Did you pick these based on I'm going to be as obscure as possible, or it's so funny how common these Pokemon are?
I picked this just because I was like, that's fucking either morbid or like really weird or
Wait,
crazy.
so did
or
you make
things
it
that I
such that there were potentially animals in here as well?
I did not include animals. I
Okay.
just did Pokemon.
Okay.
These are all
That'd be
Pokemon
really
descriptions.
mean if he's like, and this one comes from Ruby, why not? But it's really a walrus.
And I've only edited these to take out the name if they say the name in the description.
Okay.
Other than that, they're straight from the Pokedex.
Shit.
I have no clue with this one.
well-
I have no idea.
It's either... I think the cave... I think you're onto something with the cave thing.
Yeah, but I was thinking about, though, Cave is going to be Diglett, but they wouldn't have thin skin because they're digging all the time. That wouldn't make any sense. It can't be like a Graveler or something like that because it's a rock Pokemon. Can Zubats be outside? Can you have a Zubat
I would
in
assume
grass?
so. Jeez, this is hard. Okay, one
Yeah.
more time.
Its skin is very thin.
Uh-huh.
If it is exposed to light, its blood heats up, causing it to grow weak.
Dunsparce.
This one is Diglett.
What?
What?
Can you imagine that? This thing like
No
goes out to
way.
attack like a Butterfree, and its fucking blood boils and it explodes.
It's like, oh my god. What? You should have just said
That doesn't
Diglett.
make any sense, but they'd have, like you said, they'd have to have tough skin to dig like they do. They can't have thin skin. That doesn't make any sense.
I'm going to give you a little easier one.
Yeah.
It originally came from the tropics. Its heads steadily grow larger from exposure to strong sunlight. It is said that when the heads fall off, they form its first evolution.
Oh, that's very easy. Go, Holden.
So I'm confusing the two because there's the evolved form and there's the first form.
I'm here to catch you if you fall.
I'm gonna fall. It's like it's like Voltorb. It looks like the Pokemon, but it's like Voltorb or something like that. It looks like the Pokeball.
No, not that one.
What's that?
Nope.
It's Executor.
Yes.
Oh, duh.
Executor. I just find it really morbid that when they get decapitated, that forms an execute.
Yeah.
Their head literally falls off and becomes an
And it
execute.
just goes back into single execute form.
I should have known.
Dude,
that
the Dex
one.
entries are fucking wild.
Yep. This one, the Dex entry is from X. However, it is a Gen 1 Pokemon, so I'll give you that.
Okay.
Sludge, exposed to X-rays from the moon, transformed into this Pokemon. It loves feeding on filthy things.
I can picture it. I don't know the name of this one. It's
Do you even like Pokemon?
it's the slimy guy.
It starts with a G.
The G, really? Oh,
I mean, the first...
Put G on the beginning of Slimy and you're close.
is it Grimy? Or something? I don't know.
That's so close. It's Grimer.
Grimer.
There you go.
All right. This one I found particularly disturbing as well. It happened one morning. A boy with extrasensory powers awoke in a bed, transformed into this Pokemon.
What?
This comes from Fire Red.
No fucking way.
Yep.
Mr. Mime... okay, well, I already said it. That's my guess.
Mr. Mime. Yeah, that sounds right.
This
The
is
only one looks like a
Kadabra.
person.
Nice. Kadabra. Really?
Really?
Every Kadabra is a boy, a little boy, that got transformed in the middle of the night.
that sounds
Then
like
what's
just
an Abra?
an apocryphal tale that they tell about it.
yeah.
But then what's an Abra? An Abra turns into a Kadabra.
That's why
right?
I picked something that had no
I
evolution.
don't know.
That's weird. Okay. I'm starting to think this Pokemon thing is smoke and mirrors, and it's not. This is all BS.
This one's another disturbing one. This is from Pearl. It tries to bring children to the underworld by pulling onto their hands, but it gets swung around instead.
Satan. I didn't play Diamond
You
or
kept
Pearl.
Gen 2 and Gen 1 Pokemon, you said?
This one is also in Sun and Moon.
One more time with the description.
It tries to bring children to the underworld by pulling on their hands, but it gets swung around instead.
Wait, the Dex entries from Sun and Moon?
The Dex entries from Pearl. However, this Pokemon also appears in Sun and Moon.
I see.
Sounds like a ghost Pokemon.
So then this Pokemon could potentially appear in Pearl.
This Pokemon does appear in Pearl. Oh, we got that thunder here in Chicago.
I know. The storm was wild the past couple of days.
I'm out of ideas. I have no idea.
I'm going to guess a ghost Pokemon that's not accurate. Dusclops.
Haunter.
There you go.
This one is
Haunter.
Drifloon.
Oh!
Drifloon? It's a balloon Pokemon.
Yes.
And it's trying to drag kids to hell.
There's another one
Alright,
that
we'll
it's
do,
like...
They only get flailed around when they grab onto their hands.
There's another one, another Dex entry for Drifloon that it's like catching children and floating away with them somewhere.
Yep.
I should have
I'm
known.
going to read, we'll do two more. It has very thin skin. It is possible to see the Pokemon's innards right through the skin. Despite its thinness, however, the skin is also very flexible. Even sharp fangs bounce right off it. This comes
Start
from
over
Ruby.
again. You kind of broke up for a second at the beginning.
It has very thin skin. It's possible to see the Pokemon's innards right through the skin. Despite its thinness, however, the skin is also very flexible. Even sharp fangs bounce right off of it.
Which game is this from?
The Dex entry is from Ruby. However, it is a Gen 1 Pokemon.
It was funny. I had an idea for Pokemon that was in Ruby, but it started in Ruby, so it's not that one. Well, it's from the original 151. What Pokemon can you see the inside of them? It has thin skin, but its claws can't break through it, right?
Yeah, that's what it said.
This is maybe a stretch, but what's that water Pokemon that has the shell? Its skin might be thin, but its shell isn't thin.
Oh, maybe around... Wait. Poliwhirl?
No, it's not Poliwhirl. It's because Poliwhirl is the tadpole looking one. This one's more like a clam.
Well, no, I think the Poliwhirl...
Oh, you think the Poliwhirl is this one?
Yeah, something...
You are close enough that I'll give it to you. It's Poliwhirl.
Oh my god, really? I was just...
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, shit, okay. Oh, wow. Yes.
And then
See,
finally,
that's
last
the
one.
tough thing where it says its skin is really thin, but it's like can repel claws. I've never thought about that in combat in a Pokemon game before. How thin
Me neither.
a Pokemon skin is. It's just odd. That's what they use to describe
you would
it.
if it were a
I
fighting
did.
game.
That's exact Pokemon Tournament, man. Fuck, I'm gonna buy it right now.
Don't
I
buy
did cut
it, Chad.
one
You're
word out
never
of
gonna
that.
play it.
It did originally say it is possible to see the Pokemon's spiral innards, so I cut that out.
Yeah, that would have been a giveaway.
Oh yeah.
All right, last
big
one.
giveaway.
It can topple an Indian elephant by enveloping the prey in 2 seconds.
Wait,
This is a Gen 1 Pokemon.
did they just confirm that there are... Oh, so this was like Red and Blue and... It's that awkward time when they didn't confirm
I
that
found-
Pokemon are
oh my
animals. Anyway.
Yeah, there was an Arcanine entry that's like he's this Chinese dog, and it's like, fucking China exists. It can topple an Indian elephant by enveloping the prey in 2 seconds. It's a Gen 1 Pokemon.
Wait. Sorry, one more time.
It can topple an Indian elephant by enveloping the prey in 2 seconds.
I feel like the Indian part's very important.
The topple and envelop are two... By enveloping? Snorlax? Because it envelops it with its fucking stomach? I don't know. While tackling? That's a really weird way of writing it.
Yeah, like I don't think if animals fighting enveloping would be part of that.
Oh.
This one is Ghastly.
Oh.
Huh.
That makes sense.
Okay.
That would envelop someone.
I see. Okay.
All right,
What
moving
was
on
the
to
full
game number
description for that one
2.
again?
That was, it can topple an Indian elephant in less than 2 seconds. I already moved past it. By whatever.
Yeah, see, that's what threw me off is the topple.
Yep.
Okay, interesting. Those are tough.
We're going to move on to game
really
number
tough.
2.
Did we get one? We got one of them, didn't we?
You guys, Pollywag. Close
Polywag.
enough.
The only
Oh
one
my
we got.
God.
Daniel, thank you.
And executor.
And executor, that's right.
That's
Again,
right.
Daniel, thank you.
Yeah, Holden, I have like 5 more here, but I'm like, I don't think I'm ever going to play them with you because you were trying to think of the Pokemon Shelder, and you said, what's that shell Pokemon? And you couldn't think of its name.
No, that's the name is amazing. That's hysterical.
All right, one last game. I want this one to kind of be maybe recurring. I've made up a game called BuzzFeed Presents Which Bullshit NPC Are You? Based on the novel Pushed by Sapphire. So we're going to take a quiz together, a Cosmo-style quiz, where I'm going to give you a question. We have 3 answers. Only one answer can go to one person, so we'll take turns as to who answers first each time. And then based on the number value associated with each answer, which I have in front of me that you guys don't see, you will be assigned one of 3 NPCs that describes you. These are all arbitrary. None of them have anything to do with each other, but it's going to be fun anyway.
Let's do it.
All right. So, the first question of this quiz. Which class do you start as in an RPG? The weak-ass ranger, the dumbass warrior, or the frail-ass mage? Daniel, as our guest, you get to go first.
One more time?
The weak-ass ranger, the dumbass warrior, or the frail-ass mage?
Shit. Number 1.
Weak-ass ranger. All right. Holden, are you the dumbass warrior or the frail-ass mage?
I am the dumbass warrior.
Dude, I always choose the frail-ass mage.
There you go.
Nice. All right. Question number 2. Which weapon is your go-to? Is it a rocket launcher in a tiny hallway? Is it a pistol in an open
Do you
field?
bring the hallway with you?
No
How
questions.
does that work?
Is it a pistol in an open field, or are you wielding a knife on a crowded battlefield? Holden, what is your answer?
Rocket launcher, of course.
Rocket launcher in a hallway. All right.
What's
Daniel?
the meaning of the location with your weapon? I've never thought about.
It just looks stupid.
Well, like, yeah,
Okay.
it's like
It's
the
irresponsible.
appropriateness of the weapon.
Okay.
All right, so Holden,
It's a
you
rocket
got the
launcher.
rocket
I'm
launcher.
good with rocket
Daniel,
launcher.
are you a pistol in an open field, or are you a knife on a crowded
I'm
battlefield?
going to go with number 3, a knife on a crowded battlefield.
All right. Which leaves me with pistol in an open field. Great. Which stat do you level up first? I know the real answer to this one for Holden. Endurance, because you're a hoarder and you need to carry a lot of bread. Strength, because you got to compensate for your tiny vagina. Wisdom, because you plan on being a pussy and shooting magic missiles from afar. Daniel, do you level up endurance, strength, or wisdom first?
Endurance.
All right. Hold on, that means you got to choose something else. Do you have a tiny vagina, or are you a pussy?
I'm a strong man with a tiny vagina.
All right. Strong man,
That's
tiny
right.
vagina it is, which means I am a pussy with magic missiles.
Which one do you think I would have picked, Shed?
Endurance. That's
said you
always
knew
what
which
you
one I was
level
gonna
up in
pick?
Dark Souls. Yeah.
Which one?
You're always like, oh my god, I can roll. Endurance, endurance.
Actually, I go for health first. In Dark
Oh,
Souls.
shut up. Get out of here. 3 questions left. Which elemental magic do you special in? Fire, because you got to compensate for your tiny vagina. Ice, because you never learned how to love. Or lightning, because you get off on torturing people. Holden, what's your element?
Ice, because I never learned how to love.
All right. Daniel, what is your element?
You delivered that with like I believed you for a second. Like I don't think you know how to love people.
My heart is black.
That's right. You're like that Arnold Schwarzenegger version of Mr. Freeze. Like I predict that there's about to be a freeze.
Let's get ready to freeze.
Okay, remind me of the options that I now
You
have.
have fire, because you have a tiny vagina.
Uh-huh.
Or lightning, because you get off on torturing people.
Ooh, God, both those things are true about me. I don't know. Let's go with I have a tiny vagina. That sounds.
All right. Lightning, or fire for your tiny vagina.
That's right.
And the mage gets to pick his magic powers last. These
There
are the
you go.
mage, right, Chad?
Yep.
Yeah.
Number 5. Which game mechanic do you most relate to? Random encounters that just can't take a hint that no one wants you around. Weapon durability because love is fleeting. Or a small inventory because you love micromanaging people to death.
Oh, God. This is which one we dislike the most? Or which one?
Which one do you most relate to?
Oh, do I most relate to? Okay, one more time.
Random encounters that just can't take a hint that no one wants you around.
Mm-hmm.
Weapon durability because love is fleeting. Or a small inventory because you love micromanaging people to death.
I'm going to go with number 2.
Weapon durability, all right.
That's right.
Holden, random encounters or small inventory?
Small inventory. Cannot stand random encounters.
All right. And final question, who's your nemesis? An all-powerful being that comes from another dimension to eat your world because it's delicious. An incompetent puppet who's actually just a pawn of someone much cooler.
Okay.
Or someone just like you, but a little twattier, who wants to just be better than you are.
One more
Holden,
time.
you're up.
Wait,
All-powerful being that comes
Yeah.
from another dimension to eat your world because it's delicious. An incompetent puppet who's actually just a pawn of someone much cooler. Or someone just like you, but a little twattier, who wants to be better than you are.
Well, I'm pretty delicious, so that means I'm in a delicious world.
All right, you were an all-powerful being. Daniel,
Yep.
are you a
No,
little
my
twattier,
nemesis
or are you
is an
incompetent?
all-powerful being.
Number 3 has Pokemon written all over it, so I'm going to go with that.
That's exactly the inspiration for it. Perfect. Which leaves me with my nemesis is the incompetent puppet. All right, so based on the value
Will Chad
given
beat
to
the
each
incompetent puppet?
I know it's figurative, but I keep thinking a literal puppet like every time.
So based on the value that I assigned to each of these answers, totally arbitrarily, Daniel, you left with 10 points.
Okay.
Holden, you have 14.
Ooh.
And that leaves me with 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
There you go.
I won.
Starting with the
points.
least number of points, Daniel. The NPC that you most relate to is Carol, but spelled like a bitch, so regular. You're a weak
Carol?
little bitch who just hangs out in front of her house all the time.
Okay.
Although you never leave your front yard, you somehow have all these rare as fuck quest rewards to give away. You're one of those bullshit old people who take advantage of your age by stealing shit from museums and stores and blaming it on being senile. You fucking klepto. At least you're Robin Hood about it and give away your shit to heroes who save that little twat nephew that keeps getting lost in that cave in the backyard.
That checks out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Next up, me with the middle score of 12. I am Billiam. I'm a cowardly little twat who's... I love the word twat. I'm a cowardly little twat who somehow hasn't been shot down on the battlefield of World War II yet. I'm constantly riding the hero's coattails, and because I'm somehow the luckiest motherfucker in the world, I never get shot despite running around the battlefield and glitching through cover. It's super unfair. I shake from fear constantly because I'm a little bitch, and I've never actually once hit an enemy because of it. Like, why am I even here? Holden, as the person who scored the most points on this quiz, you are Martin with an O.
Ooh.
You're a piece of shit hoarder who loves collecting broken swords and shields. Your wife left you because you can't keep track of your shit, so you
Wait, I'm a
specialize in
hoarder with
asking
low inventory? This doesn't make sense, Chad.
No, you're a hoarder who collects brokens and shields.
Yes, but I have low inventory, as we discussed earlier when you asked me
Oh,
questions.
well, that's your fault for not making this quiz. So, your wife left you because you can't keep track of your shit, so you specialize in asking little boys to go and find your 5 carrots in the forest beside your house. Oh yeah, because
Okay.
you're lazy as fuck. In exchange, you give them garbage swords that start them on a journey of becoming mass murderers who eventually redeem themselves by killing the big bad. Grow up, keep track of your shit, and if you can't stop dropping shit in the forest, stop going in the forest.
Wow, looks like I came out on top here.
Yeah, that has been BuzzFeed Presents Which Bullshit NPC Are You? Based on the novel Pushed by Sapphire. We are not sponsored by BuzzFeed or the movie Precious, although they're both great. That has been our episode for Respawn Aim Fire for the week of whatever the fuck it is.
Woo.
Daniel, I've only met you through the internet and spoken to you for hours, but I feel like we're best friends.
That's right.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Pimp your stuff one more time.
I'm sorry?
Where can people find you? Pimp your stuff one more time.
Yeah, okay. So, podcast, Tech, Keela, check it out. we take shots of alcohol, or if you're Chad, you take shots of crack, basically.
Basically, go listen to the episode. It's crack cocaine.
It's good. It's fun. These guys will be on it again sometime soon.
Oh, yes, we will.
Yeah, that's it. Go check it out.
If people love it and they want to pay you money, because that's a cool thing they can do.
That's right.
Where do they go?
You go to patreon.com/TechKeelaCast. I forget the URL. It might be just Tequila. But anyway, yeah, search us there. Give us money. I like money. Money makes me happier because I'm broke.
Awesome. Guys, we'll be back next week. Same time, same whatever podcast service you're listening to. Goodbye.
Peace.
Toodles.
Bye.